Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Liberty Warrior Nation 2. It's good to see each and every one of you this evening. Boy, we were going to go live tonight, but we decided to. It's me, and I have a special guest backstage. I also have Jeff B. He decided he was able to grace us with his presence, which we appreciate so very much because he's a busy guy. So I'm looking forward to the show tonight, you guys. We are just going to kind of have some fun. We're going to scroll through our Facebook page, and whatever topics kind of come up, we're going to cover. I think that also we have the call-in number fixed, and that we were working on that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and say welcome once again, each and every one of you, and I'm going to go ahead and bring in Jeff B. Hey, Jeff B., how's it going?
Good, and yourself?
Well, I started the show without hitting the go live button and started talking to you, so that was kind of weird.
I kept trying to say you're not live.
You're not live, Tammy. You got to hit the live button first and foremost. So that is very interesting to me. So anyhow, how's it going as we head into this Friday, Jeff? Do you think that there's some stuff going on out there that will make for a good conversation tonight?
That, and it feels like it's about ready to snow here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's real cold.
Oh, no. We don't like that. So we're going to go ahead and bring in the surprise guest. Listen, this surprise guest, I often call him Last Minute Larry. I call him Random Rick. I call him some other things too, but you just never know what you're going to get. You just know for sure. You never know for sure with this guy. So let's go ahead and bring him in. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Here he is.
Hello. Welcome to LWN. My plans got changed last minute. That's why they call me Last Minute Larry, and reached out to Tammy and said, hey, let's do a show tonight. It's Friday night. Let's have a little bit of fun. And Jeff decided he was going to hop in with us. So we do have a lot to talk about tonight. And Tammy, I know her audio is a little choppy right now. I did reach out to the producer, and hopefully they'll jump in here with us and try to get that rectified. I don't know, Tammy, if your mic's too far away. So Tammy completely set up a whole new studio today. So forgive her mic for a minute. We'll try to get it fixed. But yeah, she's completely moved her whole studio to another room, and so there might be some bugs that we have to work out, but we'll get through it. Welcome, Jeff. Good to see you as always, brother. And to everybody in chat tonight, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and share us out. We are we've gained quite a bit of ground in a short amount of time. But the biggest thing that we need is lots of likes and to get that algorithm going. And shorts, just so you guys know, we're super close to being monetized and being able to open up other things in the YouTube apparatus. So anytime you can hop over there and watch one of those shorts for us and watch it through the whole thing if you can, it's getting the hours that we need to get back to where we need to be. So thank you. Appreciate it.
We do appreciate it. So I'm not sure, so hopefully the producer can come in and fix my mic, but we checked it before the show and it seemed okay. Maybe it's some kind of update in OBS or something that we need to work on. So is it any better with me turning it down lower?
It's sounding okay to me, but I can still hear a little bit of chop in it for some reason.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. But anyhow, so I was telling everybody that I was excited because there's so much that's been going on today. I just kept posting stuff on the Facebook page as we were trying to move the studio. So I thought it would just be fun tonight to obviously find out what Jeff B. has to say, because he always has something good to tell us, but also just to scroll through our page because there's fun videos and there's interesting stuff on there. And it's just like a variety pack of what's been going on today.
Absolutely. I'm going to challenge everybody that watches tonight. If you guys can help us over there on Facebook get to 250 subscribers after we lost 15,000. I think we're at like 183, so we need about 45 people or so to hop over there and subscribe to us on Facebook. That would be great, and it would help us out. Share us out. Tammy keeps up on Facebook pretty much 7 days a week and always posting great information over there. So if you want to be in the know, Facebook is where we've been for the last 4+ years. We were down for 3 years on this big channel, so we haven't gone anywhere. We never quit. We just changed tactics a little bit.
Yeah, we did. And I want to show everybody something that my husband got me for my birthday real quick, because then I think we need to get to Jeff B, if you don't mind, LW, because he has something that he told us. Did we hear about this? And we said no, and I'm very excited about it. But I actually my husband got me the Trump McDonald's mug from his website. So on the front here, it's got him waving out the McDonald's sign, and on this side, it's him making some fries. And I thought, you know what, that was really sweet of him. So I'm having my Trump mug tonight on a Friday night.
Absolutely.
And that's all.
All
And
right.
that's all.
That's all. Well, Jeff, I think we're just going to turn it over to you and give you the floor, sir.
So, what would you like to discuss first? I know you want to know what Steve Bannon said.
Do we want to start right there? Or do we want to hold off a minute? I know Tammy's going crazy because Steve Bannon's one of her favorite. Do you got other things that you want to share?
Oh
with us?
yeah, we there's other stuff we can talk about.
Go for it.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so I got a it's funny. I got a text this morning from the big chair, and he was telling me that he was down at his house in Tampa, which is kind of weird seeing that he's stationed out of DC. And this morning he seen 16 fighter jets along with 3 refuelers heading south. And it was pretty much an all at once move. And then the chief of naval operations made the announcement that they are moving the Gerald Ford out of the Med, which it just got to the Med, and they're moving it to the Caribbean. So the average travel time or speed is about 35 miles an hour. So it should make way on station probably within 5 to 6 days, which will be right after the tropical storm or hurricane that's getting ready to hit the Caribbean. So I look probably maybe next time this week, the announcement will be what we're going to do down there. But I believe that the main reason that the big chair is in Tampa is the home of Special Operations Command. So he may be down there overlooking stuff for Trump, because Trump's about ready to head overseas.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if Trump likes to start or smack people around while he's overseas. So this may, start maybe before, maybe a barrage of cruise missiles from some subs out of Norfolk. So that's the one thing. The second thing is, did you guys hear about the NBA?
Oh, what is
Yes.
going on with
I
that?
have-
With all
I
the
have-
crooked gambling?
I have heard about the NBA, but I gotta stop for a second and ask you
Sure.
a question, Jeff. Why do you think that the Gerald Ford is being moved into the Caribbean?
Oh, they're about ready to pounce Venezuela and Colombia.
Ah, dang it. Because it's part of what they were taking out those supposed or alleged drug dealers, right? Because they keep getting the ships and the submarines and stuff. So do you think this is just gonna full on all no holds barred, just taking care of it once and for all now?
Well, I think it's going to be a multi-pronged mission. I was speaking with Monkey late yesterday, and he reminded me of something of a show he did about 3 or 4 months ago, when we were talking about Venezuela, and he called it the Lion's Den. And there is some stuff that couple people shared with him, and I shared some information with him that he really didn't want to go public with. He was a little bit nervous about it. Uh, but him and I are in belief that's where, and I know people are going to think this is nuts, but we think that's where Epstein's at, based
Whoa.
based on some flight data.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, and,
Wow.
and secondly, with the connection with Maduro, Dominion, and when because Diebold had a big facility down in Caracas, and Dominion was Diebold was the original company that was going to do the voting machines until uh, Andy Anderson, who was the executive vice president of foreign operations, blew the whistle on some illegalities with the machines, and then they sold it off to Dominion. Uh, so I think there's going to be two or three. My guess is if they're moving the carrier battle group into the Caribbean, there's probably already uh, special forces in those two countries, and they're mapping out uh, targets, doing some snatch and grabs prior to the big hit.
And
So
what do you mean by big hit?
Oh, they're going to start nailing uh, cartel houses. They're going to start nailing the factories. They're probably going to decapitate Maduro and the president of Colombia, for the president of Colombia coming out and saying on their national news media that his plans is to overthrow the U.S. government and take out Donald Trump.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's ballsy.
Stupid.
Yeah,
Actually.
220 people watching on the YouTube channels. Can you guys, and we got like 61 likes. Can you guys hit that like button for us and get that number up if you wouldn't mind helping us with that? That would be awesome. Now, if they were to take out those presidents, what would that do to South America and to our relations? And here, Trump just came out this week and said that he wanted to pull beef from Argentina, from South America, and bring that up to compete with the American farmer, which, man, I've been staying on top of that for the last 2 days, and there's a lot of angry people about that shit. But what would that do? Would it destabilize? I know that when we talk about this in the Middle East, it causes all kinds of chaos. Do you think it'd be chaotic if that happened here? Would the cartel step in and try to take over more than what they already have? What do you think on that, Jeff?
Well, I believe the average everyday person in those two countries, they fear the cartels just like they do in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And these leaders, in order for them to stay in power, they have to work with the cartels. So I'm sure there'll be chaos for a short period of time. Now, if we do strike either country, I want people to remember this right here, and you will understand why I don't believe everything that we're being told about Russia and Ukraine is correct. Because if we go to strike within the first 24 hours, you're going to see NSA, NRO, DIA start dropping their internet and start dropping their electricity within these countries. And if you go back and think when Putin first rolled into the Ukraine, he didn't do that. So either the Russians aren't as smart or have common sense to do that, or there's something else that's going on inside of the Ukraine.
That I didn't see that coming at all. I really didn't see that coming at all. I'm
Yeah.
glad, obviously, he's been taking out the drug cartel and stuff, but I knew that he would have to do something more other than sink a few boats in a submarine because they aren't going to go down without a fight. So
Yeah,
it makes sense.
And
Right.
those countries also did threaten America, just like Jeff said. I know we had, I think Lynn was asking who's on the phone. Everybody's trying to answer in chat for us, and we appreciate that. And maybe they're not getting it, but it's Jeff B on the phone right now. No, I know it says anchors away, but it is Jeff B.
Yeah.
I mean, he hit them hard on those boats, and that was, I know a lot of people enjoyed watching that. I still believe it's hard to really make a massive difference on the drug trafficking globally and even here in America. I still believe our government has a lot to do with the drug trafficking, including the FBI and the CIA. It's such a huge money maker that I don't see them stopping it completely. I see them maybe changing hands for control. What are your thoughts on that, Jeff?
Well, I think what the operational plan will be is they will have to strike the manufacturing. And, if you remove the manufacturing of this, you know, because people don't like when they do a drug seizure and they send it to the laboratories at the DEA. The DEA, the chemist, are able to take that drug and they will be able to know based on the compounds
Where it came from?
where it came from, how it was sourced,
Okay.
where it was sourced from. So, like if certain ingredients were pulled from China, certain ingredients were pulled from the Middle East, they'll be able to pinpoint
Okay.
where it's coming from.
And what about this? If we were, and like you said, I believe there's probably black ops in there already, and the snatch and grabs and all that stuff. But if we were to actually cross into the border of one of those countries or do anything, isn't that an act of war?
Correct.
Where does that
But-
lead us? Where does that lead us?
Well, right now we don't have a functioning government.
Correct.
So
That's kind of where I'm going with my questioning. Not only us, but a lot of these countries don't even have a military to even
Correct.
speak of. Correct.
yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Venezuela has maybe 34, 35 planes of Vietnam era. What they do have a lot of is missiles, surface to air. But those can be taken out extremely easy with subsurface Tomahawk and cruise missiles, ADCAPs, and some other items, and throwing a AC-130 Galaxy in the air that shoots a bullet the size of a small Yugo.
Wow.
Will take them out.
Wow.
So what you're saying is it wouldn't be a fair
but-
fight.
No,
Tammy,
no.
Tammy, take a note of this because I want to ask Jeff about this and I want to talk about this.
Okay.
I saw a comment in chat, but I also wanted to bring this up. I want to talk about what I think it was Rosie O'Donnell. God, who was it that made the stupid comment that they want to have a blackout?
That was Rosie.
Okay,
yes.
was it? I want to
Yeah.
discuss that, just not right this second. So
Okay.
don't let Jeff and I
I'll
forget
write it.
about that.
Rosie.
But anyway, Jeff was also wanting to move on to the NBA. Let's go to the NBA. Let's change topics here. LeBron James is even getting caught up in this stuff. This is
LeBron-
Yeah.
kind of crazy. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, not that I have a connection to LeBron James,
Make that very clear, right, Jeff?
right? But his godmother, who basically raised LeBron James, was our secretary at the bureau, and he's a good kid, but I believe a lot of these people got wrapped up into all the money making that now is going to implicate Las Vegas because of the video poker systems that were being rigged and used out in casinos. Now, when I first heard this story, I was like, well, yeah, this sounds like the days of Pete Rose when, when he got nailed.
I remember that. Yep. That was a big deal, Jeff.
Right. But now this is probably going to really make you think. I believe this right here is a result of Executive Order 13848, the seizing of assets. If you aided and abetted in the attempted coup of the United States government, funding in any way, your assets become part of the U.S. Treasury.
Isn't that interesting?
Well, I seen articles today where they said that LeBron had been sharing information with one of his good friends who's, I guess, a bookie or something about him being hurt or going to be hurt or something. And that was – I'm not a big LeBron James fan anyway. I mean, the GOAT, the best of all time, is definitely, in my opinion, Michael Jordan. Nobody's even come close to Michael Jordan. I'm not a LeBron James fan, obviously.
You're not. You don't think the GOAT was Larry Bird?
Larry Bird was
remember
good.
the Bird?
Larry Bird was good.
Yeah,
the Bird
remember
was good.
him?
Danny
Oh, yeah.
Ainge. Yeah.
But that was back in the 80s
No.
and 90s when basketball was actually fun to watch. You had Larry
Right.
Bird, you had Magic Johnson, you had Isaiah Thomas, Michael Jordan,
Spud Webb.
You had
Yeah.
Clyde Drexler,
Shaquille O'Neal.
I mean, you had so many amazing players, man, and it seems like after all them started retiring, it just kind
It
of
went downhill.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I think there's more to this than just racketeering and book fixing.
Yeah.
Because the NBA come out and said, "Oh, we're going to fully cooperate." Well, yeah, no shit. Yeah, you're going to fully cooperate. So it's going to be interesting to see if this isn't like a toppling or possible restructure of the whole NBA and possibly leading into other sports.
Oh, yeah. You can't tell me it just happens in the NBA
Right.
and no other sports.
NFL.
No way. Yeah.
I mean, I don't. A lot of people don't even watch anymore, Tammy,
Right.
Jeff.
Yeah,
a lot of people checked out during COVID. A lot of people checked out once they started kneeling, once they started
Yep.
playing the Black national anthem. Like you name it, they have completely ruined sports and the whole trading. I understand trading and I understand building a great team, but I'm a firm believer. Like I grew up in the day of Joe Montana. I grew up in the day of Dan Marino, and a lot of these players, it sucked because you love the team and you love the player, and they stuck with them forever. A lot of them until like maybe their last year or something. Brett Favre went to Minnesota. Well, the greatest of all time, if for argument's sake, was New England. What's his name? Not Brad. The quarterback that just retired from New England Patriots. The greatest of all time. I can't even remember his damn name because I'm not a big fan of him.
Bernie Kosar?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Thank you. Tom Brady. He left and played for another team. Like it just sucks. Thank you, Tom Brady. Jesus, I can't even believe I forgot him. But they all like now they're all moving all over the place trying to get more than one championship or a championship. I don't know. I don't like watching that because you can't even like a team anymore because you like them for a few years and then the guy gets traded and goes somewhere else and you got to like that team too. I'm supporting the Raiders because my guy from Boise State, Ashton Genty, is the running back for the Raiders, so I have to support the Raiders. So now I'm a Raiders fan for Ashton Genty, but I'm a Green Bay fan. So I don't know. Sports is just it's not what it used to be.
You
Right.
know, growing up in Detroit, even though the Lions stink, the football team, the Detroit Lions, we still rooted for them. We still hoped they'd win Thanksgiving games when they played.
Yeah.
The Tigers were a big deal. I used to go to Tigers games, but the biggest for us, and this was a big adjustment for me being in Georgia, not really having a hockey team because they started one, stopped one, started it, stopped it again. But man, the Detroit Red Wings and Stevie Eiserman, growing up in the days of him and Bobby Probert and those, man, I was really a hockey fan, and you're right. It was great to go to those games and to see people, the certain players and stuff. Man, we had some great ones in Detroit, and you're right. Anymore, people have lost everything about it. They don't have passion for it. I mean,
Nope.
it's more college now.
Well, you think
they're ruining college, Jeff.
Yeah.
They're ruining college. I used to prefer college over professional because that's where they really put their heart and soul in it because they wanted to make it to the next level.
Yeah.
And now they're able to pay college players, and some of those college players are making millions every year. And it's
Right.
like okay, you ruin the professional, now you're going and ruin the college, and I don't know. It's just not what it used to be. I'm
Can
just
I
not
take-
saying it.
Can I take a pause real quick and say the producers backstage? So if you guys in chat, is my mic any better? Does it sound
yeah.
okay now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's-
sounding better.
Okay.
Producer,
1,000%.
Yep.
Okay,
way better.
good. Okay.
And-
Now,
and-
go ahead,
and-
Jeff.
And if you thought you had a shitty team in Detroit, I mean, just look at me, Northeast Ohio. We have the Cleveland Clowns, and
So bad.
these guys, they are diehard. And I can remember when I was a kid, it was like a family event between, my aunt, my grandfather, when the Steelers played the Browns, and it was like family feud hour. And it was always a big deal. But like I really quit watching sports when they had the walkout in baseball.
Yeah.
And so the only sport I watch now naturally is darts, and a lot of people don't view that as a sport, but
It's like watching bowling.
yes, or watching golf. But if you play it and you understand the strategy of it, it's very, very entertaining. But the thing that you said, Mike, and I don't know if you intentionally said it, or if you were just putting the pieces of the puzzle, because I'm sure there's a lot of people in the audience is trying to figure out how I'm equating this whole NBA scandal to 13848. And Mike, you had said it because the NFL and the NBA and all these other sports were allowing pretty much a terrorist organization known as BLM to influence these sports, and with them being designated even then to be looked at as a terrorist organization, with that executive order, it allows Treasury to seize assets. Just like I said with the Bud Light, when everybody thought I was crazy when they did the whole transgender thing, and I said, look, this right here smells to me, they're taking assets because of this, and they had to come up with some type of story, some type of folklore that would allow for their stock to drop, so it wouldn't look like Treasury was seizing assets.
It's amazing how a lot of this stuff is starting to align. I will say that.
I'm sorry, I'm cracking up at Miss Mischief's comment here. People, her sport is swatting wasp with my electric fly swatter. That's hilarious.
Well, then
Well,
there's also a yard lawn darts is a great sport to watch from Larry. And
yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, we used to throw those things straight up in the air and then see who was brave enough to stand there before it hit the ground. That was
We grew
insane.
up in that. We are
Yeah.
lucky that we survived that.
We are
And-
lucky we survived that. I want to say something real quick, too. So we've got over 300 people watching tonight, and I think that we're just barely over 100 likes on YouTube. If you guys are over here in Liberty Warrior Nation 2. And you can help us out with hitting that like button real quick. Be nice if we could get up to over 500. That's our record since we've been back, is 500 likes in one show. So if you guys can help us smash that, I'd love to get past that. Here's another thing that we're going to try tonight. I did reach out to the producer. They're around. We're going to try call in tonight. I know Diamond Inn was going to try to call in. John Estabrooks usually tries to call in. It was good to see Chitwood last night, but you guys couldn't hear him. So I am going to put the number up when I turn the phones on. And so anybody who wants to try to call in tonight, we will give it another shot. I think I was just clicking on the wrong button last night, and that's why nobody could hear. But where do we go from here? What's the next conversation that you guys want to have? Do you want to talk about the thing that I talked to you about, Tammy, with the blackout thing? Do you want to?
Yeah.
You want to cover? You want to cover something else, Jeff? Where do you guys want to go tonight?
No, let Tammy go ahead.
Well, I think that we should cover this mass blackout because, for one, Rosie is not even in this country anymore, correct? Didn't she move?
No. These guys are so
She
full of
moved
shit.
out. I thought she
No,
moved.
these guys are so full of shit when they say, "Oh, if Trump gets reelected, I'm going to move out of this country." I don't think any of them.
Well, this is what Rosie has to say. She said, "We're not asking, we're shutting it down. Mass blackout, November 25th through December 2nd. That's a long time.
I'd like to see them try.
So this is what
Try.
she says. The largest economic blackout protest in the United States history begins November 25th. This
Do
is
it.
what she's asking for. You ready?
Yeah.
No work, no spending,
Well, they don't work anyway, so that's an easy one.
no restaurants, no projects, no events, no restaurants, she labeled again. No backing out. Prepare for the impact.
Mm-hmm.
So basically that's what she's asking for. See, somebody said Ireland. She moved to Ireland, but she's probably coming back for this big mass blackout event
Yeah.
that she's wanting to have. Now listen, how can you say what exactly is she shutting down? Does this, when I read to you, LW, what she posted, does it make any sense and say what she's shutting down for?
No, they're still protesting the loss of the presidential election. They're still mad as hell that Trump's in there. They're going to try to do anything and everything just like his first term. And you and I and Jeff talked about this countless times of how that man had to swim upriver without a stick to even try to get anything done his first term. And here we are again. I heard the other day that they're going to try to impeach him. I think it was today. They're looking at impeachment papers just because he's doing construction there on the White House premises. And I sent you that video today that you had already found, and we giggled about that how Obama did this shit. Other presidents have done this in the past, but yet it's a focal point for them and their impeachment. And I'd like to get Jeff's take on that too. And I just want to say to Crystal, I'm sorry. I keep calling you by your last name. I know that you're a wonderful lady, and I just keep forgetting your first name every time I look on chat. I can't see you, and so I'm sorry for referring to you as your last name. But yes, Crystal, it was nice to hear you last night, and I apologize that no one else could hear you but me. And we're going to work on that tonight. And so if you want to call back in tonight, I encourage you and anyone else that wants to call in. So, Jeff, what's your take on Rosie O'Donnell and this stupid blackout thing that they're trying?
Well, with Rosie O'Donnell, I think she'll have about as many participants in that as that came
People
to
that people that actually watch her movies and stuff.
Well, no, that actually came to a Joe Biden rally.
I agree.
That's
what was
probably
that?
about
was
it.
that around 12?
Yeah, 12 or 13.
Okay.
I mean, we could stretch it to 17, but then that gets into some gray area.
Oh boy.
And when with the what was the other item? I know it was Rosie and the other item that you just covered.
Oh, about the White House and
Trump,
and Trump doing some stuff there.
Well, Barack Obama built a $20 million basketball court. Remember that?
No,
Okay.
it was 300. It was 365 million.
Okay. All right. But the difference between this and that is this is all done through private donations.
Yes.
It's not
Correct.
coming out of Treasury. It's not coming out of urban development.
It's coming out of Trump's own pocket, and there's donors that are paying for this. It's right around 200 million.
Correct.
Obama used taxpayer money to do what he did, and I think the Clintons did something too. I think Slick Willie built something. I can't remember what it was, a swimming pool or something. Used taxpayer dollars on this. So this is all private funded. It's not coming out of your pocket. It's not coming out of anybody listening or watching to us tonight. And they're still trying to impeach him over this. This is the most ridiculous thing. Well, it's not the most. It's everything
It's
that they
one of
do.
them.
It's one of many of the ridiculous things that they try to do to impeach Trump.
And go ahead, Jeff.
And I bet you that this ballroom is going to be all ready by July 4th of next year for the 250th.
There you go. Yes.
I'm not
that's-
taking that bet, Jeff, because I believe you're 100% correct.
And they're having a fit over breaking down the White House and tearing it down and saying all this awful stuff. However, it's not even part of the White House. If you look at the map, it's way off to one side of it. So it's absolutely ridiculous. And when Hillary came out and said, it's not his house, it's your house, and he's destroying it. Did we not forget, Hillary? We didn't. Maybe you did, that your husband had sex in the Oval Office. Maybe she should sit it out and not talk about tearing up the White House and being embarrassed by
There's
what's
so
going on
many
in the White
videos
House.
out there, Tammy. There's so many videos out there. I shared a few of them with you. One of them was Monica walking out of the Oval Office and wiping her lip with her napkin, and it's just like, you guys, we can't even make this stuff up. It is wild and crazy. Here's something that we could do real quick. I have a producer in here with us, and we can go ahead and start turn on the call-in center, and we can change the screen and put the number up there for you guys, and we can try to take a couple calls real quick while we're talking about this stuff. So I don't know if the producer wants to go ahead and do that, or if they want
It's
me
a test,
to, but
yeah.
we definitely want to try it tonight for sure. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, go ahead. And yes, Jet, Hillary also tried to steal furniture that she had to return.
She didn't try. They did.
Well,
They stole, I think the article I read, I want to say that they stole cigars. Thank you. Yeah, cigars.
that too. They Clinton.
They
Bill
stole, I
Clinton.
think it was something around $400,000 worth of furniture, china, multiple things that the Clintons, when George W. came in, that they took. And it's just wild that they continue to blame Trump for all this stuff. And we can even talk about the videos of him being king. Man, there are some hilarious ones that I shared on my personal Facebook page. And somebody said that they think that Donald Trump should dress as a king for Halloween. I think that would be amazing. I think he should dress as a king for Halloween. But who are the real kings? And I was going to write all this stuff down, didn't have time to do it. But if you think about it, and I'd like to get Jeff's and you both to comment on this, and anybody who wants to call in. But we got Nancy Pelosi. We got Joe Biden. We've got even Hillary Clinton herself. We got Turtle Man, Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, like Chuck Schumer. We've got so many of them that have 20 years, 30 years, 40, 50 years in government, and Donald Trump has a little over 5 years at this point. Who is the king of this whole situation? Because they keep saying it's Donald Trump. It's horseshit.
Yeah, and I'll add to that by saying dictatorship is by those that are in power and want to stay in power by any means possible. And these people that have been in for decades, like the people you've named, are exactly that. They will do whatever they need to do in order to stay in power. Those are the true dictators, rulers, and controllers.
Absolutely.
Not a president that's just in, he's only been in 8 months.
And he's only got 3 years left to go. Here's the
Yeah.
thing. So the call in is is on. The number is there on your screen, 620-317-1776. Anybody who wants to call in, give us comment, question, say hi, talk to Jeff. You guys can go ahead and dial that call in. It's pretty simple. You call in, you'll be prompted to a waiting room. You'll hear the show while you're in the waiting room. You're not going to miss anything. If you guys are worried about missing anything while you're in there, you won't miss a beat of the show. You can actually listen to it while you're in the call room. And then we'll bring you in. We got 2 callers. So let's go ahead and bring in the first caller tonight. There you go, producer. Go ahead and hit it. All right, welcome to LWN tonight, caller. What is your name? Where are you from? Hey, how are you?
Can't hear it.
Oh, hold on just a second. We got to unmute it. Hold on just a second. Producer's working on it. All right, go ahead and just talk, and we're going to try to figure this out as you talk. So go ahead. Give us your name so everybody can hear you, and we'll get to it.
Diamond in.
Yes, Diamond in.
Hi, y'all. I was so surprised. I saw it come up a few days ago, and I'm like, LWN, wait a minute, they can't be on. And I clicked on it. I'm like, oh, my God.
Oh, it's so good to hear your voice, Diamond in. It has been years.
I know.
Are you guys hearing Diamond in? Can somebody give us a 5x5 there in chat? I want to make sure that you guys can hear her. She is one of our favorite callers of all time. I tell you what, Diamond in battled with us during COVID. She would come on and give us information about, because she works in a field that's connected to that. And so Diamond would call in and give us the rundown on what's going on, and we miss you, Diamond in.
No, I miss y'all. I did. I was like, when I didn't even know what happened to you guys' channel. I was like, well, maybe they'll come back next week, or maybe they'll come back. And you didn't come back, and I'm like, no. I'm like, crap. But
well, we got taken down a lot, and we started a lot of channels, and we've been all over the world on so many different platforms. We're on Rumble, we're still on Facebook, like TikTok, you name it, X. We've been everywhere, and this is crazy, Diamond. So last Thursday, I received an email from YouTube that said, Liberty Warrior, sorry for the inconvenience. We are giving you not 1, not 2, but all 3 of your channels back.
Oh,
and so we're back, and here we are.
And amen, because I'm like, on the 17th.
On the 17th, October 17th, we got the channel back. What are your thoughts on that, Diamond in?
I mean, it could only be the Lord, because
Amen.
For it to come full circle, as everything is like falling into place of what we all were talking about years ago, and now the pieces are falling into place, it's like, now's the time. Like, now it's like, okay, let's get the whole gang together and, really crack down on some things. Because when I tell you, these last few years in the healthcare system, I'm in another transitional phase. And long and short of it, we have a lot of vaccine injured people.
Okay, Diamond.
Employees. And
Diamond,
it's so bad.
I don't want to get into that tonight. Can I do this?
No.
Can I invite you, because I still have to reach out to my brother John Estabrooks. And
Oh
yeah. So we used to do the podcast for 18 months. We talked about this. Can I invite you? Can I invite you to join John Estabrooks and I, and we will do a show just about this, because I got another caller I want to get to real quick. I don't know who it is, but I want to bring them in.
Yes.
It's so good to hear your voice.
No, it's so good to see y'all.
Do we still have your contact information? Because I'd like to reach out to you when we put this show together.
The number is still the same. Yeah.
Okay.
It's still the same.
What if I don't have your information? How can you email? Can you email me? You still have my email. Can you email me just so I make sure that I have your contact?
Yes. What is? Oh gosh, I haven't used the email in years.
Okay, it's Tammy. Which one should she use, Tammy?
You can do. It's an echo.
Okay. I'll just give you my email. It's impof86@gmail.com. I don't want to miss this opportunity.
Oh my gosh, this phone. All right. Do it again. Say it again.
impof86@gmail.com.
IMPOF
Yep. F.
86.
2 F's, 86, gmail.com. Reach out to me. That way I have
All
your
right,
information.
Gmail.
I'll talk to John, and we'll put a show together, and love to have you as a guest.
Okay. That would be great. I'm so happy you guys are back on. Man, oh man.
I'm so happy that you called in. Thanks for joining us. I'm gonna scoot out of here and bring the next caller in.
All right, cool. Y'all have a blessed night.
All right, thanks, Diamond in.
All right, bye.
All right, I'm just waiting for the producer real quick. We'll go ahead and just bring in the next caller. Ah, that was awesome, Tammy. That was a blast from the past. All right, go ahead, producer. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and bring him in.
Are we ready?
All right, you are live. Welcome to LWN. Your name and where you're from.
My name's Corey, and I'm from Michigan.
How are you doing, Corey? And Tammy is a Michigan lover.
Cool. I know she lives in Georgia, isn't it now?
Yep, she's in Georgia now.
Yeah. I've only watched your guys' show a couple times, but talking about Trump and about the king, do you know when he went to England this last time?
Yeah, we watched
Hello?
it. Go ahead. Yeah, you're live. Go ahead.
He was coronated. You know that.
Well, we watched it, and he walked in front of, what, King George, right?
You know that he was coronated as the king. He's the king of the world.
Okay.
Okay, and there's a couple other things that I want to say pertaining to that. You know, back in his first term, you know, he bought Australia on the stock market.
He bought the whole country on the stock market?
Yes, it was listed on the stock. It was listed on the exchange, and he bought the whole country. So I'll tell you this: New Zealand, Australia, Greenland, Canada all fall under the preview of the President Trump. He owns all of them.
Can you talk a little bit on Greenland, because that was a big thing, and he came right out and said that he wanted to buy Greenland. So what's your thoughts on that? Did he purchase it?
You got to understand, he is saying things that he's already done because the normies got to see what's happening. All the people that don't know, all the politicians already went to Gitmo. They were hung on the 2018 in front of the White House, and the rest of them are in the barges down there near Gitmo. They've already been taken care of. This is for the normies because they wouldn't be able to handle the truth if he brought it out right. Boom.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm just giving you a chance to talk. I know a lot of people believe this, and I can't dispute anything. I haven't seen where they're wrong, but I haven't seen any of it myself with my own eyes, and I find this stuff to be very, very interesting for sure.
That's the whole point, is because people don't believe because they ain't seen it with their own eyes. And I'm going to give everybody here something to think about, okay?
Okay.
And this is going to be really hard because there's going to be a lot of things that come out that's really going to be hard for people to grasp.
Go ahead.
One is the Bible was created by ancient texts that was well before the Bible was made. They created the Bible with codex in it for spiritual growth, of which Yeshua, which is Jesus, he's not Jesus, he's Yeshua. He lived here. He was married to Mary Magdalene. They had children. And the whole thing with that is he was here and he disappeared from 12 to 30 years old in the Far East. And there's record of him in the Himalayas and all that with all the masters there learning to spiritual ascend. There's physical record of all this that will come out. There's also record of the draconians that live underground. That's why they're destroying all the tunnels underground. They live off your loose. It ain't demons. It ain't Satan. It ain't none of that. You know, if you really look up the word, what God means, and Lord is Baal, and God means Satan. The Nag Hammadi is all the texts like the flood, the big flood. That didn't happen like that. We've been through like multiple 5, 6, 7 resets where they completely wiped out whole civilizations and started over. That's why a lot of the buildings. We have pictures of Kansas City that was buried all the way up to the buildings, and they dug it all out. There was no people. That was around 1800 or before. History's a total lie. We didn't win the Revolutionary War. The England crown was still in charge of this country. That's all. Our history is a total fabrication.
Well,
And
I do
go
believe that the winners do write history, and I do believe that a lot of our history has definitely been manipulated.
I'm not doing this for me or fame or anybody to believe me. You can believe whatever you want, but a lot of stuff's going to come out, and a lot of people are going to lose their minds because we're under a firmament. There's no space up there. We've never been to the moon. The moon and sun are local within this sphere. We got videos of the sun going between clouds.
Yeah, I've seen it. I know exactly what you're talking about, and it is very strange, some of the stuff that's come out lately, where they've even talked to an astronaut who's getting ready to, I guess, go to orbit, and he said this will be the first time we've ever been to the moon. There is so much stuff out there that is confusing, and just it's a lot. Like you said, it is a lot for people to really absorb what you're saying, and I go ahead.
You really, sorry, I don't mean to keep cutting. I just want to catch what you're saying and try to respond to it real quick because where my thought pattern is here. They're putting these little tidbits everywhere, even in the ticker's bottom. You got to watch the tickers on the news because certain things come out. And one of the tickers and one of the things with Trump on it, they had Nasir Jasir in there in the ticker, and that's real. We're getting ready. We're getting ready to collapse.
Listen, what's your name again? I don't want to say that again. Corey. I have to cut you short here. I encourage you to call back again because I want to give my two co-hosts plenty of time to talk about what you just dropped on the show tonight. So
no problem.
Again,
hey,
thank you.
Around.
Thank you so much for the call.
White Rabbit 63 on Rumble. I've shared multiple. I've been told by my children and that I should have had a podcast way back when. We have evidence of the Oklahoma OKC building watching the ATF go with two teams go into the building an hour before it blew up. They were planting explosives.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was Timothy McVeigh. He's a CIA agent. We already know that.
Yep. Well, I appreciate the phone call, Corey. Like I said, I got to run because I got to give my co-host enough time to talk about what you just dropped. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a great night, sir.
You too. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Hold on. Let me mute this stuff over here real quick. All right. I think that should kill the back.
Feedback.
Yeah, the feedback. Okay. Holy crap. Now, I've heard all this. And Corey, thank you so much for calling in. Would love to have you call in again sometime for sure and give you more time to talk about this stuff. But there's a lot to unpack on this. Now, I'll be very upfront and honest. Mr. Skeptic, some of it I feel is very possible and some of it I disagree with, but there's a lot to unpack. So, Tammy, how do you feel about letting the Jeff B loose on this and let him start this off, and then you can follow up?
Okay, that's fine, but I just want to make a little comment first.
Go for it. Go for it.
Goes for it. Okay, so I have a Roku, and there is a channel on there, and it was called The White Rabbit, and then it was called Truth something or other. Now, do you guys...
I just had somebody reach out to me today or yesterday that goes by the name of White Rabbit.
Well, as much as we want to stay skeptical and we don't want to be bought in one way or the other, so this channel has all the videos that were wiped clean off of the internet that you can't find.
Now wait a minute.
anymore.
Do you think that guy could have been the White Rabbit?
Well, he just said he was White Rabbit 63 on.
Oh, is that what he said? Okay, maybe this
So
could have
now
been the
I'm
White.
freaked
Oh, now
out.
this could have. I swear. Then maybe Corey. I don't know. Maybe Corey was the person that reached out to me and said, "Hey, this is White Rabbit." I'm like, what is going on here? Go ahead. This is just wild.
That's
This
the
is a
thing.
crazy Friday night. That's all I got to say.
It is. And so, I was in it, and then I got out of it, and then I got back in it. And then I saw that on my Roku, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Well, there's a reason they scrapped all those videos and stuff, because if they were BS and all that, people would just laugh at it. The people in control that don't want us to know would just laugh at it. My thing is, and this is the bottom line, whatever is going on in this world, I'm not claiming to know. I'm claiming stuff doesn't add up. The more stuff Jeff B tells us, the more
I'm on board
freaking
with
out.
you on that.
And then when we talk about the guy that like we did last night that we both interviewed and talked to that also
Yep.
is on these papers.
Yep.
Now, 3 years later, there's still connections being made. But what I love about it is people don't know the exact dates and times. People don't know how it's going to play out. We are actually seeing things play out from the people involved, like Trump, his administration, Dan Scavino. Jeff B's telling us stuff from the big chair. Those people are the people directly involved. They're not YouTubers. So that put a whole nother swing in my swivel. So that's what I want to precurse that all with. And I think that there's so many shows to be done breaking up this individually because it's too much to get into
It's too
for
much
one
to
show.
it's too much to talk
But
about all in one
now,
night for
Jeff
sure.
B., the floor is yours, sir.
Go for it, Jeff.
Well, like with the moon, right? Where he said we've never been to the moon.
I know. Good Lord.
Okay, two things.
Yep.
When they wanted to go back to the moon, they said it would be too expensive to do that, right? But you mean to tell me that my current cell phone has more computing power than all of the equipment that was used, programming power, CPU power,
Mm-hmm.
to get a shuttle to the moon? One. Two, the big chair's kids, and this has been a couple years ago, he called me and he goes, hey, they got something they want to explain to you. And I'm like, okay. And they were, all under 10 at that time. And they said, Uncle Jeff, we realized something. And I'm like, what's that? The moon landing's bullshit. And I said,
holy cow.
how is the moon landing bullshit? And they're like, well, they teach us that there's no atmosphere on the moon, but I'm watching the moon landing and the flag is moving. And that's impossible if there's no atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And, when you sit there and, this is coming from an 8-year-old kid and his brothers, it's like, never even thought about it like that.
Okay, let me unpack some stuff real quick too, Jeff, before you move on to the next thing you want to talk about. And I have to say this real quick. We have over 500 people watching tonight. 400 of them are on YouTube, and I've got 196 likes. If you guys can help us out, please, let's break 500 likes to get that algorithm up. More and more people are finding us that have been missing us for years, but I need your help to do that. So if you guys can crush that like button for us, please, whether you're on LWN or Liberty Warrior Nation 2, that will help us out significantly. Now, here's the other thing about the whole moon thing. Like, I'm a skeptic. I've bounced back and forth like Tammy. I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out. But here's the thing. I've listened to Armstrong say that we've never been to the moon.
Uh-huh.
I've listened to Armstrong punch a guy out for calling him out on that. I have sat there, and I used to think that we made it to the moon. I really did. But like Jeff said, just the technology alone. Like, you're telling me that there are places here in Idaho, I don't get cell phone service, but yet they could call the president from the moon and say, hey, president, we just landed on the moon. Like, who took the video when they took off from the moon to come back to Earth? Like, this is where I'm at as Captain Skeptic. None of it makes sense. None of it. Even Elon Musk says that there is the Orion belt and there's some things up there that's hard to get through, and the radiation and all this other stuff. Like, so where Captain Skeptic is tonight, I don't believe that we've ever been to the moon. And that is a hard pill for me to swallow. That is a hard thing for me to say. But I'm doubting that we've ever been to the moon.
I'm going to say I agree with you because I have videos saved because I wanted to do a show down the road, break it down to these different things and saving all the videos with interviews and stuff. But also, Elon's like wanting to have Mars, people on Mars, thinking that it's going to be okay. Elon's shooting rockets into space like there's nobody's business not having a problem, yet they go up and then they turn like they hit the firmament. Now, I'm a strong believer that there's a firmament up there that you cannot break. You know, that's why they turn, and that's why they always land in the water. They go up and why do they always land in the water? Elon's the first one that landed it by the self-grabbing thing, but I'm with you. That none of that makes sense. If you know, we were told there wasn't money, it wasn't worth it. We went to the moon once, we don't need to go again. But here's Elon spending all this money, like shooting them up, going to Mars, planning a place to Mars, and it's all it freaks me out. It messes me up because that was like one of the big things that I think we got lied to about. Now I'm going to zip it so Jeff can say what he thinks.
Well, you know, in moving to the next topic that he talked about was, you know, this big Nasara Jasara, right? You know, there were
Here we go.
there were so many. I don't even know what you call them. I guess the common term is known as grifters, right? They were out there saying how everybody was going to be a millionaire. I think you were starting to see the results of what's possibly going to be a monthly stipend. Because Trump has talked about this numerous times that next month they are going to start cutting checks based on the income received from tariffs. Now, the jury's still out, but I think there was a major move when I know Treasury had called the Federal Reserve and wanted to audit the books, and the Federal Reserve told them to go pound salt. In that very hour, when that phone call was relayed to the Oval Office, that's when Trump went to the Federal Reserve and basically put them on notice, saying, "I'm coming. You know, the Federal Reserve is going to be next." And because constitutionally, we shouldn't be there. Are no taxes. You know, think about when you go buy a new car, right? You're paying a tax on that new item, and then 6 months, 6 years, whatever later, you are selling that vehicle and it's getting retaxed again.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's just.
And you're paying taxes on it every year, Jeff. Every time
Correct.
You register your vehicle, you pay taxes on it again.
Correct. Yeah. And it's, I mean, in ways, if you look at the original Constitution, all of this is illegal.
Illegal.
Correct. And it's nothing more. What people have to get in their head is this is a money scam. It's money laundering to the highest order.
So Corey, White Rabbit, I don't know what he goes by. Like I said, he had a lot of information. I'm cautious. I'm very objective. Some of it I get. Some of it doesn't make sense. Some of it I do not believe in. But there's just so much to unpack. Like that's why I had to turn. That's why I had to turn phones off, because our phones could blow up and we wouldn't get the opportunity to even talk about what he unpacked or what he put out there. And Jeff, the moon landing, communication, And then you're talking to Sara DeSara and the Federal Reserve. Now, they have been saying over and over and over again, and even Ron DeSantis has been saying and came out again today in Florida and said people who buy and purchase their homes and their property should not continue to pay taxes
Correct.
on the property. Trump has said over and over again he is going to abolish the IRS. Now,
Right.
I know there's bigger skeptics than myself out there, and I can appreciate that. I still am very cautious about this, but it is leaning very, very hard to this being possible. Go ahead, both of you. Anyone that wants to respond.
Well, I mean, when Biden was in office and you were still going, I had come on and reported to people that the IRS in Washington, D.C. was shut down. And that was about 2 or 3 months before I told people that the FBI had officially been moved to Alabama. And people thought I was batshit crazy. And,
I remember that.
right.
And they called us batshit crazy, and they called us some other
Right.
things too.
Right. And
And
But
been moved.
yes.
And
Yeah,
a lot of what you were saying has came true.
right. And I think you're slowly seeing the dissemination of the IRS. And what I think is happening right now is all your taxes that you're paying on your income. I think that's now going to Treasury. And
For us,
and that
you,
correct.
not to interrupt you, but for us, for down the road, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And I think when Trump went to the Federal Reserve and basically they told him he couldn't come to the Federal Reserve, and a day or two later after he went, and the big chair told me that yeah, they told him he wasn't allowed to come, and he basically told the big chair, "Oh, nope, we're going, get it ready."
Wow.
And they went there. And
Shit.
they about dropped their shit when he walked in. You know, because he had an executive order to audit the Federal Reserve books, and they didn't respond. So, I mean, you're seeing what's happening with all these governors and these mayors. He's not pulling any punches. I mean,
He's
just
not. He's not
no.
fooling
He's
around.
not. He's
Jeff,
not.
I got to ask you the question real quick. We got 237 likes. We are halfway to 500. There's 438 people in YouTube alone. We're over 500, Tammy. If you guys can please help us smash that like button, and let's break that record of 500 and there are more and more people finding us out there, and you can help us by just hitting that like button, subscribing, sharing, hitting the notification bell, following us on Facebook. But here's my question, because I saw John Estabrooks, and I cannot wait to get a hold of John and talk to him about Diamond In and doing a show with the three of us. But what happens if they're sending all the money to Treasury and they're going to eliminate the Federal Reserve? Because the Federal Reserve was created back in, 1913, the 1920s, 30s? I don't know. It was somewhere in that era, and it was enslavement. It was total enslavement. Everything that they have done since is illegal, like the income tax, everything's illegal. We have been
Right.
slaves to this system for generations now. And I feel in my heart and in my soul, I truly believe there's a reckoning coming and a possible reset where things change drastically in the benefit of us. So what would happen if they dissolve the Federal Reserve, dissolve the IRS, and everything starts rolling into the Treasury? What does that mean, Jeff?
Well, that basically that means any of the interest. You know, some of these, these, I guess you call them loan sharks, right? All that money that's
Yeah.
paid.
They are loan sharks. You're correct
Right.
in that term. They are loan
Yeah.
sharks.
And like the prime rate and all that, you may still pay interest, but it's going to go to the country's holdings and not go into foreign people, because you have to remember these are all foreign actors. There are some in the United States, but these are all foreign actors. And I know from somebody who works in Treasury that works DMARSH and asset forfeiture that they are scooping in billions and billions. And he even went as far as he said in 1 week they've scraped in $1 trillion
Jeez.
from in assets.
And
So,
assets. And
in
assets.
assets.
That means they're taking assets from people.
Correct.
And they go to the Treasury. So
Correct.
what about tariffs? Are they going also to the Treasury?
Yeah. So like when we order product from overseas from the manufacturers, so we get tariffed based on the country of manufacturing, not the country of origin. So what happens is, let's say we get a shipment in from FedEx. The driver will deliver it. We sign for it, and then within a week or two, we will get a letter from FedEx Revenue Services, and it'll put on there what all we received dollar wise and breakdown based on country and manufacturer what the tariff is. And then you have, I think it's 2 weeks to pay to FedEx Revenue. You're not paying it to the U.S. Treasury. It's going to FedEx Revenue. I think eventually what's going to happen is once all this is revealed, you are going to be paying Treasury, because if like anybody has like SBA loans, anything dealing with a Treasury backed loan, Treasury is no longer accepting checks.
Wow.
Okay, which is the SWIFT system. Treasury is only accepting electronic payments because they want to be able to track and make sure that the Federal Reserve isn't getting their hands involved in it.
Ooh, see,
Tammy,
so
Tammy, I've been talking. Jeff's been talking. There's so much going on in chat right now about chattel and our birth certificates and bonds and all that stuff, which we can dive into too. But I want to give you an opportunity to talk, Tammy. Like,
I just think that, geez, we won't forget Miss Mischief. Believe me, we won't leave until the Biden thingy, because Biden is my guy. We will not. That is
the Bannon
main-
thing. The Bannon
Yeah,
thing. Yeah,
yeah.
okay. Yeah,
So-
we're not leaving until we talk about Bannon.
Yeah.
We're not leaving until we talk about Bannon.
Yeah. So I mean,
There's
that's the
just
big
so
one
much
for
to
Jeff.
talk about. It's
It is.
insane.
Okay. So all this stuff, Jeff, that you have just said, that the previous caller said, we were mocked and laughed at and made a joke out of. But then we have to talk about this paid opposition. There was a
Correct.
couple people actually on our YouTube that said we were paid as well. I can guarantee you, LW and I and Jeff B are not paid in any way, shape, or form by
Guaranteed, I'm not
anybody.
paid.
No,
I'm barely paying my bills. I'm not
Right?
getting paid for this stuff.
Right. Amen to that, mister. And this is the thing. LW and I, all know, we started going down a road. We got behind the scenes on that so-called road. We didn't like that road, so we backed away. A lot of people that we thought were good were bad. A lot of people we thought were bad are good. So we pulled away because we didn't want to get sucked into something that was a money-making machine, that we were believing in people that weren't good. Mike Flynn's an example. We thought he was good, then he was bad, now he's good, now Trump talks about him, now it's great. So, I mean, there's a lot of psyops, I call it mental messiness that goes on. It's hard to know what is what and who's who. So with Jeff B saying all this now, there's a lot more clarity and a lot more truth that seems to come of it than even back in the day, because of what has transpired over the years. And that's what I have to say. That is why it's so overwhelming, because we go back to remembering the things we said, the people that we dealt with, and we see a difference. Some people have gone away, like Lynn Wood, but he's been sprinkling back again,
he's
just like
coming
Jeff
back.
B. Jeff B said. Sidney Powell, she's trickling back in. We didn't think people were going to be held held accountable. However, Bolton, Brennan, Comey are there. Now they're saying that it's going to be the other big ones like
They're coming after
Hillary
all of
coming-
them.
Yeah,
They're coming after all of them.
so I'm relaxed more so than ever because a lot of the people that were telling us
I'm
crap
chill,
and taking
like a
money.
cucumber.
I know. A lot of the people also, this is what makes me happy. A lot of people that people followed, they're coming after this DC guy who I didn't hear of. Just
DC Intel.
Yeah,
Yep.
They're
Fraud,
going after
fraud.
him for fraud because he took
Yes.
a lot of people for money.
Well, and I can say I had my part in that, and hopefully some people will be able to get their money back because I was sent where this guy had multiple fake federal IDs,
Oh shit!
federal badges, and I sent it to the big chair and asked how or I should proceed because now that it was sent to me, I have a legal obligation to do something, and I got a hold of the SAC in Cleveland, and he got scooped up pretty quick, and he's got some serious federal charges coming.
Yes, he does. And let me add to what Tammy and Jeff both said, because I want to clear the air with people too, because there's a lot of people that haven't seen us in 3 years, and they wondered where we went and what's going on and what's been going on for 3 years. And so I got involved with people as well. And I had conversations with people, and it was all about the money. They were talking about all the money they were making selling things, and I felt very uncomfortable because that's not who I am. Would I like to make money off of doing this and not have to go put my tool bags on out in the cold weather at 51 years old? Absolutely. I'd love to be able to pay my bills being doing a show every night, but it's just not in the cards for me. So, in being involved with other people, and that's what it was all about, was money and how do we make the most money and all this other stuff, I had to back away. I had to get out and go, you know what, this is not why I got into this in the first place. I got into this because I wanted to inform people, I wanted to interview people, I wanted to learn just as much as everyone else. So that was a hard thing for me to do because, honestly, I could have made a shit ton of money. All I had to do was jump on the bus with the rest of them and sell everything they were selling and put out the shit that they were putting out, and I'd probably be doing okay right now. But I chose a different path. I am searching for truth, and I love to entertain and be entertained, so some of this stuff is entertaining for me, and meeting wonderful people and interviewing wonderful people, but I was never in it for the money, and that was eye-opening for me to get involved with people where that's all they talked about, and that was their whole goals. What are we selling next, and how am I going to convince people that they need to buy it, and all the other stuff. And I don't have any commercials anymore. I'm not selling any of that. Do I think people should buy gold and silver? Absolutely. I mean, everybody that bought gold and silver doubled their money. That, to me, was worth selling, but the rest of it was just part of a game, and I didn't want to be part of the game anymore.
And remember, all of us, Jeff, me, and LW, all have real jobs or have real lives outside of it. And you guys have to understand, it was very exciting and going behind the scenes and getting to meet some of these people. And I will tell you, even face to face, they can lie to your face. So everybody's in it for a different reason. Our goal has always been what LW just said. And that's why we took a little break and we had to figure things out and then finance it
But I
ourselves.
also want to be clear. What the people that I'm talking about, none of them were part of LWN. To be clear,
Correct.
I want to be
Correct.
clear. Like there was a lot of people: Shane, Scad Warrior, Mary Kay.
Yeah.
A lot of people that were involved with LWN. Those are not the ones that I'm talking about. I'm
It's the big
talking.
ones.
I'm talking about the big ones that still are out there, still have their own channel, still pumping the same shit. Those are the ones I'm talking about. Everyone that was involved with LWN, pretty much on the up and up. Loved those people. They were great. Things happened. We went our own separate ways. So those, to be clear, those are not the ones. It was guys way bigger than me, way above me, and
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it no more.
Yep. Go
Well-
ahead, Jeff B.
Yeah, and what people have to realize is there's a big difference in, you know, like LW, like if he receives super chats or if he sells product based on his channel, because he has a right to earn a revenue from this. This is why we're a capitalist society. Um, but when you start interjecting, uh, people into your show that don't have your best interest, that don't care, they're just there to suck off of your viewership.
Yes.
And the people back then,
And they still reach out to me,
Sure,
and I don't
absolutely.
respond.
and some of these same people who we're calling and still call people grifters, when you watch their channel, they're doing the exact same thing. There's no shame in making money for your time. But where some people, people who were legitimately frauds, like DC Intel, you were selling people $10,000 tickets for a med bed.
Oh yeah. Unbelievable.
Right,
And that's what I'm talking about,
Correct.
ladies and gentlemen, and everybody who's listening. Like, if you want to buy one of my T-shirts or coffee cups, or you want me to hook you up with some people that can help you with gold and silver, like stuff like that, I think that's capitalism, and I think that's okay. What I'm not interested in doing is selling you any kind of magic wand that's going to heal you, and I'm not saying that med beds are not real. Don't get me wrong on that.
Right.
I'm just saying I'm not trying to sell you a ticket to that.
Right.
I'm not trying to convince you that you need to do anything other than what you feel comfortable doing. Like I said, gold and silver is a big deal, and I think that was worth the investment by far, because everybody who bought it when we were selling it has doubled their money, doubled the value. But I'm not interested in telling you that I talked to freaking aliens and they're telling me to tell you to do this or any of the weird shit that's out there. And there are people that have made millions off of this. I barely made enough to keep the lights on, just selling gold and silver and T-shirts. So that's who I'm talking about. Those are the people I'm talking about. We probably need to get off this subject and roll to something else.
Yeah, because it gets maddening. But I'm going to give one little brief example, and then we can move on. There were people that were online that invited people. I think it was to Texas because John F. Kennedy Jr. was going to appear.
Sold tickets to that shit, $250.
There you go, right, Jeff B?
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so guess what? The John F. Kennedy Jr. didn't show up. So all these people traveled, paid money, gave their time, all this.
Paid a lot of money for that shit.
For that, and nothing happened. That's what we don't do and want to do. And that's all I'm saying. So you have to be mindful of who you watch. Don't watch people because they're telling you what you think you want to hear. You have to still keep your discernment about you. And that's how I'll end it.
I want to respond to Travis real quick because he had the question doubled. Yes, when I was selling silver coins and stuff, it was $18 to $21 per coin. Those things are worth it was a record almost $50 an ounce a week or two ago, and they're at like 45 right now. So silver did double. When I was selling gold, it was around $1,800 an ounce. It broke over 4,000, record high. So yeah, everybody who bought gold and silver, if you bought it at the right time, you doubled your money. And a lot of people came to me and they flipped their IRAs over, their retirement over. I helped a lot of people do that, and they doubled their money. So, yeah, shit, we're getting coffees bought for us, and I'm not even paying attention. Go ahead, Tammy.
No.
I gotta look.
Okay, you can check. Okay, now, Jeff B, have I waited long enough and been patient enough that you can tell me, please?
Let's talk about
Bannon.
Bannon.
Steve Bannon.
Let's talk about
please.
Bannon.
Oh, did I tell you, Tammy, I had to go?
Oh
No,
yeah,
I'm joking.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
So the big chair had told me that there was multiple meetings last week, and he had texted me some of the names who had showed up to these meetings. A couple of them were at the White House, and then there was some other high level meetings that were done off site. And when I say off site, there are certain buildings within the Metroplex there that they use for some very slick operations. Well, it was said, and I believe he said it today on his news show, Steve Bannon, and you have to understand Steve Bannon, his last duty assignment, he was the aide to the CNO at the Pentagon. CNO is the Chief of Naval Operations. So the CNO then reports to the Joint Chief and then reports to the President. So he was in that orbit. He was a crypto officer. During my time when I was in the Navy, I was after I got hurt and I couldn't deploy anymore, I was assigned to Admiral Blair as the number one enlisted chief aide to the commander of the Pacific Fleet. So, and I was a crypto.
Wow.
So there's some of the line linking. And Steve Bannon come out today and he said, I know there's going to be people that think I'm crazy on this.
There we go.
He goes, but I am here to tell you
Putting on my tinfoil hat.
that there is a constitutional way that President Trump can serve after 2028. And once it's revealed to the American people what this plan was and what this plan was put into place, the American people are going to be shocked and they're going to be mortified at what has been done to their country.
Woot, woot.
Oh,
Now,
I
that is-
knew he was going to say this because
that-
there have been people that have sent stuff talking about exactly what Jeff's saying.
That's incredible because this Bannon saying it, and mind you, let's correct the name, Stephen K. Bannon.
Stephen
Right.
K. Bannon, and he don't
And-
say shit. Like he don't just put shit out
No,
to see if it
Jeff.
sticks.
Jeff, so really, so he's putting that out there in interviews and on his show and stuff like that, then saying that there's a path and we're going to see the path, and a lot of people are going to freak out over that path
Yes.
because of what's been done to our country.
Well, and I think, and looking at an outside looking in, now, I like Trump. I like Trump's policies. Is there times that I wish he'd shut his pie hole? Absolutely. But I believe.
And let's not bring cattle in from Argentina, please, Trump. If you're listening to us right now, let's not do that. That's to me, I don't like that at all.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Jeff.
well,
Go ahead.
There are a lot of things that Trump has been saying. And looking, like I said, going from an outside perspective, putting all the politics behind, putting all my personal beliefs behind, and knowing what I've done in the past for NSA, for the Navy, for other agencies that people don't even know exist. And I told you guys this when we were way deep down this rabbit hole, that I knew that there was going to be a constitutional crisis.
yes.
You've been
It's
saying it for a while.
That's going to come about, that's going to force the U.S. Supreme Court to come in and put a complete halt to the U.S. government. Now, I believe this shutdown is calculated
Yeah, me too.
because Trump has told the Republicans, you better hold the line on this.
Yeah.
And what I think is going to happen now, I have no concrete evidence. No one has said anything to me because I believe whatever is currently happening is so compartmentalized
Yep.
that only, within the last few weeks that anybody above an 04 was briefed on at Quantico.
Okay,
And
hold
that's-
on, stop, just a second. I want you to talk about this, Jeff, because I was getting ready to ask the damn question and you're already talking about. But I have to say real quick to Mary P66. She bought all three of us a coffee, Jeff and Tammy. She says, here's a coffee for all three of you. Mary, thank you. And of course, our wonderful mods, Carlene and Chase, also bought us coffees and said, thank you, Mike, Tammy, and Jeff, the awesome LWN family, for the awesome conversation we are having. I don't know if it says any more there because I can't click on it. And then Tammy Jackson also bought us coffees for all three of us and said, Mike, Tammy, such a great show tonight. Fantastic to have you back. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. And thank you for coming back. I mean, we haven't seen some of you guys in 3 years. Smash that like button. We are getting close, I think, to 300 likes. But Tammy, we're pushing almost 600 people tonight, Jeff. We got 500 alone on Facebook, or I'm sorry, on YouTube. But we've got Rumble, the X, and also Facebook going right now, which is almost another 100. So we're pushing 600 right now. And thank you so much for those coffees. But Jeff, my question: you're talking about this, and then Pete Hegseth just brought in the entire military.
Yes.
Well, not the entire military, the top stars, right?
Yeah, the flag officers.
So talk about that, please. There are so many people right now watching the show that probably want to know a little more in depth. Can you go into that, please? And let's hammer down on this shit.
Okay, so this is the first time in recorded history when I was told by the big chair that travel arrangements were being made for all the top brass to fly into Quantico for a quote-unquote, and he made sure he made this apparent, a pep rally. So when he said that to me, I knew that was bullshit. Okay?
Really?
Because the U.S. military has spent billions upon billions of dollars on secure communications to be able to do. It's kind of like Zoom, but it's an NSA architecture. And when I first told him, I said, well, first of all, you're full of bullshit. Because if they wanted to have a pep rally or tell these officers that I need you to be fit like you're forcing your soldiers and sailors to be, that's a memo from boopers. That's not it. So I said, there's something big. And I said, if you're not allowed to say anything, I don't want you to say anything. But here's what I think. And you can tell me if I'm batshit crazy. I said, whatever these guys are going to discuss, it's not going to be a one-day event, which it wasn't. It was a 6 or 8 day event. And for you to bring all these guys in, just think of how much money. This wasn't just the flag officers, this was also their top
staff.
aides.
Yeah, their staff,
Yeah.
everything. And Jeff, it was in Virginia, and I don't
Correct.
mean to cut you off. I'm going to let you continue. This was in Virginia. They were not all in Virginia. They were all over the globe, and they had security details that they were in charge of that they had to leave to come to Virginia.
Correct.
This cost millions, correct?
Oh, it was a big feat. And so they get there, and the big chair was requested to be there for other reasons. And he texted me why a couple of these speeches were going on, because they were doing basically a security sweep. And he sent me a text, and he goes, 20 PMs in a room. And I was like, you're kidding me, right? And he goes, no, there's 20 PMs. And PMs being polygraph machines. And so I said, dude, they're about ready to cut the head off of some of these snakes. And I told him, I said, this is what I think is going to happen. I said, I think from the time that President Trump came into office the first time, hardly anybody knew what was going on.
Wow.
And so in order for you to execute the biggest military operation known to man, you now have to bring in your top people. And that's not a conversation that you have on paper or a conversation that you have via Zoom or
Right.
whatever electronic communications, because there's going to be extremely sensitive information that you're going to be read on to that you had no reason, even though you had the security clearance, you didn't have a need to know at that time. And Trump came out last week and he made a big statement that not too many people caught on to. And when he said it, I was like, son of a Trisket. And I
I
texted
like
big
that.
and I texted the big chair
I
and I
like
said,
Triscuits.
yeah, Triscuits are good. I said, with him making that statement that he made, I know I'm right now. And he said, well, it would be a good bet that you were right. Trump come out, and you have to understand how the top level of the military works. And I can only speak for the Navy. I can't speak for the other branches because I didn't have any exposure to it. Navy-wise, you can only have so many officers.
Okay.
Okay, so if a officer either resigns his commission, retires, or his commission is taken, then only the president can appoint another commission. Kind of like in the Navy, in order for you to make it from an NCO to a chief, you have to have Congress sign off on it because you're appointed by Congress to be an E7 or above in the Navy. So when he come out and he said, he goes, hey, I just signed the commissions of 250 new officers. So that right there tells me that there were 250 flag officers that were forced to resign, that took their commissions, or once they were read into the program, they didn't want to have nothing to do with it because maybe they were going to be implicated in it. And that's why 2 weeks before that, Hegseth made the announcement about the 650 JAG attorneys being in D.C.
Oh my God.
because these officers would have, and the cover story was these JAG officers were going to be used for immigration judges. Number one, that was, and anybody
Bullshit.
who, correct, because the military, the JAG office, the Judge Advocate General Court, does not prosecute civilian laws.
Nope.
They prosecute UCMJ. Correct.
Yes.
So the only person that can fall under UCMJ is military, unless you are under the Insurrection Act of 1812, or you're under some sort of martial law where the military is in control of the whole country. Then the military can also try politicians.
Ah, yes. Now we're getting to the meat of the
Okay,
situation.
pause for just a minute. We're gonna pick up that, and I also want to talk about, man, their chat is going crazy right now with so much shit. We missed half of what I wanted to talk about tonight because it's Corey's fault. White Rabbit is the one that called in and dropped all this stuff, and it started the whole conversation. But I have to say a few things, Tammy. We are like over 500 just on YouTube right now, and like I said, we got about another 100 on the other, so we're over 600 right now. But my phone has been blowing up nonstop since Jeff started talking. And I have to say thank you real quick. So give me just a minute
Yes.
because it's important to
Yes.
to recognize these wonderful people that are supporting the channel. So White Devil, and we know who that is, the old White Devil. He's out there, and he bought us 3 coffees as well, and said
you.
great show. So thank you to that to brother. Really appreciate it. Rising Phoenix. Also bought us all coffees and
Thank
said
you.
great show. So thank you to Rising Phoenix. I do not want to leave anyone out. Someone also bought us 3 coffees and said Good to be back together. Now let's kick some ass.
Yes.
And I want to check real quick on the likes because I know we were close to 300 likes on YouTube, and I want to break that 500 mark barrier because we're over 300 because that's our algorithm. And if you guys can, there's 500 people watching just on YouTube right now. If you guys can help hit that like button right now, it will help us get past that 500, and that's like our barrier. If we get past 500, more and more people are going to find us. All right, Jeff, unleash the beast. Like there's so much to unpack. It's crazy. So I had to say thank you to everybody. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, don't ever apologize for that. We can take
I'm
pauses.
gonna need a bedpan, Tammy.
I know you are because he's drinking his honey water there. But Jeff B, can you think? I don't want to distract you, but United asked this question before, and before we move on, can we answer this? Do we know where Q Intelligence is located, or is it everywhere?
Well, there is at NSA, which is in Fort Meade, Maryland. When I was there in '98, there was a door on the 7th floor that said Q Group, and no one knew.
What?
And yeah, it's called Q Group,
God
and
bless it.
there,
Yeah.
there,
Bless it.
and there is, at that time I had a top secret SCI TK security clearance with whiskey and with White House clearance, so I had it was a very high security level. And I couldn't even access this room because I didn't have a need to know.
Wow.
So there,
Get my jaw off the ground.
yeah. So, people that, and I get it, they're skeptics. And, you have to understand in the intelligence business, and it's a business, you could think of something so outlandish and they've done it. And going back to the moon story, there were times where I was sitting underneath a pineapple field in Hawaii and I'm listening to a target all the way around, halfway around the world, and I lose communications, but yet you could communicate to the moon. So, but there are so many things that, Trump is, it's almost like he's trying to come out and tell people, look,
Yeah.
you stupid asses, I'm trying to explain this to you, but you're not getting it. And there's so much skepticism, and even some of, your detractors, Mike, that we've all had. You don't hear them too much anymore because I think some of these people are starting to see the writing on the wall,
Yes.
and a lot of stuff is being put out right in front of your face for you to see, but you have to look at everything objectively. You can't look at it through a political lens.
Yeah.
And the reason, why I think this No Kings thing is going on.
Oh, that's where I wanted to go. Is that thing? Can we pause for
Sure.
another second, please?
Yeah.
Because I want to make an announcement. And I gotta say, my phone has been blowing up, Tammy. I have to make another announcement. And I thank you. So Rhonda, our wonderful Boston Rhonda, is it McAnamy?
Mark Haney.
Okay, I get the names wrong, and I apologize. 3 more coffees. Tried to call in, and I apologize for that. I had to turn the phones off because there's so much that I wanted Jeff to unpack that I felt like we would get distracted with more phone calls. So I apologize for that, Rhonda. We will have live call-ins. I'm going to say this. Probably we're going to go live for sure come Monday night after work. When I get off of work, we'll be back. If not sooner, you can count on us being back on Monday. I want to make an announcement to everybody watching tonight. So we've got a little bit of money coming in from the coffees, and I appreciate that. What I'm willing to do is I will match up to $200 for tonight. I will match up to $200 donations tonight. So if we hit $200, I will match that. I will put in $200 of my own money, and I will spend $400. I will reach out to Andy, and I will buy $400 worth of silver coins, and I will bring that back, and I will give every one of those coins out. It's going to take me a little while to do it. It'll be a few weeks, but I will purchase those silver coins. I'll have them shipped to my house, and I will give back everything that you guys donated tonight. I will give that back to every one of you. So everybody who is, I'll say everybody who has donated in October and November will put your name in a drawing. 1st of December for Christmas, we will hand out silver coins. And I'm not keeping the money. I am going to buy the silver. I'm going to give it back to all you guys. So however many coins I can buy, we will give that out for Christmas.
Holidays. Yeah, Christmas.
For the holidays.
That's
So
cool. Yeah.
any I don't care what amount you donate, it does not matter. But if you just donate something and we hit 200 tonight, which we're very close to 200, I will give it all back to you guys. So I just want to make that announcement. Jeff, let's talk about that. I can't even remember where we're going. I got so much
No
in my head right
Kings.
now. No Kings. Yes,
Yes.
the No Kings. So
It's,
what is going on with the No Kings, and what is it
Yeah.
all about? Because I said this earlier in the show. Trump's not, well, okay, and then Rabbit called in and said Trump is king, but what I'm saying is there are so many people in play that have been in politics and been ruling over us like kings and queens for decades. And they're the ones that are pushing all this. So I'm going to unleash Jeff B once again. Go ahead.
So, what I think this No Kings is about is I think it's one of Trump's and some of the National Security Council's final opportunity for governors and mayors to come clean. And you've seen that today with San Francisco. Last night we had a federal agent shot, and he survived, and they had informed Trump that I believe it was Bongino who informed Trump that they had an agent that was pretty injured, and Trump said, "Do it, pull him into San Francisco."
Right.
And the mayor of San Francisco called Trump and said, "Please, please, please give me an opportunity to work this. If I can't work it, I won't give you any pushback." Well, then, the queen of Satan herself, Nancy Pelosi, comes out and starts stirring the pot and telling her constituents to get out there and fight against the feds. Now, that's an insurrection.
Yes.
Okay. I think a lot.
Not the first time
Correct.
that the Democrats have said things that are insurrection.
Well, and like the viewer just said, give no chances. They have to give chances. And the reason I say they have to give chances is because there are still people, no matter. Trump could come out tomorrow morning and say, "I've cured cancer. I'm putting $50,000 in everybody's bank account," but he's still a tyrant, because it's almost like some of these individuals have been trained by the North Koreans. It's an indoctrination, and it is very, very hard to break these people of this, and it's on both sides. It's not just the Democratic side.
Right.
There are people who think Trump's the next Messiah, and and that's just as sickening as them calling him a dictator. And I think the whole purpose of this is to point out to the American people that, wait, you want to talk about a dictatorship? Let's talk about, during the big whooping cough, whether you wanted to or not, you had to wear a face mask. You
Yeah.
couldn't do certain things. That, to me, is a king rule system. The king puts down the rules, and you have to do it. So I think all of this is being played out because, we talked years ago about the EBS, right? The Emergency
Yep.
Broadcasting System.
Yes. Yes.
I think you're starting to see and this is just my personal take, you're starting to see the culmination of what's going to be the EBS. Because once, and I believe it's coming very soon, once it is made public that Trump has invoked the Insurrection Act, there are going to be news media outlets that are not going to report it. There are going to be certain cities that are going to have curfews because they will not be able to squash the insurrection because local law enforcement has been ordered by their chief, who has been ordered by their mayor, who has been ordered by their governor, who has been ordered by their state senator or their congressional members. You will not do anything.
All the way down to the local.
Correct.
Yep.
And then that's when I believe you are going to see the emergency broadcast come into play, where it's going to come out and say, if you're in X, Y, and Z, if you are not off the streets by X time, if you do whatever, the military, they are not police officers. We are not because Trump has made that very apparent. If these guys come in, we are not pulling any punches.
Right.
And Trump has always said, you have to do everything by the Constitution.
Okay.
And some of the stuff that he's doing is going back to the original Constitution before they started making all these changes.
Yeah.
God,
Well,
there's so much to talk
Well,
about.
I was going to ask you too, Jeff, when we were talking about the San Francisco guy deal. Why do you think Trump is allowing him to do that? Because if he could have done that a long time ago, provide
Correct.
safety, what would make him change his mind suddenly? And then Trump is like, okay, go ahead. But Trump also said, but I think you're making a big mistake because we can come in, take care of it, one hole, that's it. But go ahead.
Well, I think this leads back to the meeting of the flag
generals,
officers. That,
Okay.
the West Coast would be the Pacific Fleet. So the Pacific Fleet commander that, sits at Pearl Harbor would notify whoever the head level of that region, go in and have a conversation saying, look, this is what's about ready to happen. If you impede in any way, you're going to be brought up on charges, and it's treason charges.
Yeah.
And you can
what did Donald Trump do real quick as soon as he came back in office, Jeff? Remember the executive order?
You're
What
going
was
to get
it?
hung.
Yeah. It was death for treason. That's
Correct.
what it was. Real quick, Debbie Golden, thank you so much for the donation. She said, so glad you all are back. Hope we make it to the finish line. Holy shit, it just keeps going and blowing up. Pappy Two Bears also bought all three of his coffees
thank you.
and said, glad you're all back and holding the line for truth. I know there was one more that just came in. And people are asking me, how do we donate? So this is from somebody too, bought us all coffee, said, you guys helped me navigate when the world was sideways. Thanks so much. I wish you guys would put your names on that instead of just somebody, because I want to put your name in the drawing. I sent out 2 of my emails, and I can't remember which one is actually connected to Zeal, but I'll see it pop up. And someone else said, how do we donate? The mods can put in, we do Cash App too, and anybody who's donating, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm sure we've already went over 200, so I'm going to go ahead and donate $200 tonight to the fund to buy as many silver coins as I possibly can, and I'll let you guys know when I get those in. I'll get them before Christmas, and we'll put those names out. And do all that stuff, and thank you so much, because that I know I'm not getting anything from it, but I want to get back to you guys because you're what makes this whole thing go. And hit that like button. I don't know how close we are now. I think we're at like 300 and something last time I looked, but I want to break 500, but now we're pushing almost 700 people tonight, and I don't have really a time limit because there's so much to cover. I wanted to ask
Crazy.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy tonight. I wanted to ask Jeff about because there was a comment way earlier about the whole birth certificate thing. Now we've covered this. Many people have covered this. There were people out there saying things like call on this and you can get money. I never believed in that, but I do believe there is something to do with birth certificates and enslaving us. I firmly believe that. So Jeff, you want to talk anything on that? Go ahead.
I mean, everybody knows that the stories that were going around at that time. Uh, do I think there's anything to it? Possibly, but do I? I don't believe that this is how, if the system is put in place, I don't believe that's going to have anything to do with it. I think it's going to be based off of um, how much illegal interest that you have paid to a foreign entity. So,
I
like,
paid a lot. I
right.
paid a
So
lot.
Yeah.
let's say that you have paid $100,000 in illegal interest, and you paid $100,000 in illegal taxes. You have a fund of $200,000,
Gotcha.
and based on your your age, and the national life expectancy, like seniors would get a lump sum, a bigger lump sum ahead because of their age, and then the equivalent or not the equivalent, the remaining balance would be paid out every year on like an anniversary date, and that way it wouldn't cavitate the economy, because when people were first coming out saying, "Oh, you're going to be a millionaire at day one," that would cavitate the economy, because people wouldn't have to work. You would have a severe inflation. I do believe with Trump coming out and talking about this tariff income and how much millions and billions and trillions of dollars he said is coming in to Treasury, and you have to keep in mind we're debt free. We've proven this. We're debt
Yeah.
free.
You said
We
that on
don't
the
ha-
last show.
Yeah,
Yep.
we don't have a debt. It was dissolved, and uh, you're that's what you're. It's almost going to work like the Alaskan oil, where the residents of Alaska, they get a check based on oil production and
Yep.
profits.
Yep.
So it's kind of going to, I believe it's going to work like that. And there are enough signs that I know from the inner workings of DMARSH, which is a treasury, that things are lining up for this. And I think the COVID stimulus was a test run to see how many actual people on the rolls actually process the payments, and to catch fraud and all of that. Um, and somebody asked a question that I wanted to touch on, because I think it's going to be very valid to what we're talking about with the Insurrection Act. Somebody had asked in there about the EBT, the food stamp program,
Yeah. Yep.
and how come November 1st there was not going to, politicians are saying your food stamps aren't going to get funded. I don't know if that's the case or not, but you have a lot of social media outrage now. And, I didn't even hear about this till this morning when the big chair had said something to me and started sending me some links. And I'm like,
what?
and I'm watching this, and I'm like, dude, they're basically calling for the assassination of people. I said,
Yeah.
this is nuts. Now, is this possibly what could trigger the Insurrection Act? Could this possibly trigger the EBS? It's more and more looking like it's going to be something like this than what we've thought about in the past.
Yeah.
And there was one other question that I seen that I wanted to touch on. It'll come to me, but yeah, go ahead.
Oh, let me say thank you again, real quick, to Deborah Post. She's been with us a long time. Bought all three of us a coffee as well. Said, "Love you guys. Glad you're back." So we definitely broke 200. So
And right here, not to
we're
interrupt,
good.
but read
Go
that
ahead.
comment, Mike, because it ties into what you're doing right there. Tammy Younger said, I didn't mean to make mine private. I bought you 3 coffees and said, let's kick some ass.
Yeah, yes,
there
I
we
love
go.
it. Thank you,
Okay.
Tammy. Thank you, Tammy. Appreciate that. And Tammy, can you write that name down so that I don't forget to put
Tammy.
her name in the
Yep.
drawing too. And anyone else that made it private and said somebody, if you guys just throw us a comment in there, I'll try to do my best to put your guys' name in the drawing. I don't want anybody to be left out because I honestly, okay, so Tammy asked me the other day, she's like, well, how much silver do you have left over from all that silver you bought? And I have none. The only silver that I have left is I have a couple of coins that a wonderful listener to us had sent me personally with an amazing heartfelt letter and some family history. And so I put those in my safe. There's like 3. I think I have 2 coins or 1 coin, and each one of my kids have a coin. That's all that I have left because I gave everything away, and I loved giving that away to all you guys. So I don't have any silver left except for what was given to me as a gift, and that's it. So
Oh, there, Jackie P. She
okay.
said she's the 5 coffee girl or
okay,
gal. I put
right,
my name.
right,
Okay.
write that name down, and then
Yep.
we also have Farm Yellen. I hope I said the name right. Farm Yellen. It says, I'm glad that you're back. Missed y'all. Please add me for the drawing. So
Farm Yellen.
yep, I got those names. It's
Okay.
just the ones who did the private someone. Those are the names I don't have. So if you donated coffee tonight and put just private on there, drop your name in chat so we can write it down. Anyway, Jeff, I'll let you pick up where you were at. I mean, we're
Oh yeah, so
we're
yeah,
good.
so I did remember the question. So
Oh,
somebody
good. Oh, wow. Good.
somebody had asked, and I meant to cover it, that there was. I was told earlier this evening that there was a private donation that was made to Treasury
yeah.
to cover the military's
Yes.
paycheck.
Yes. Please talk about that, Jeff.
Yes. That
And-
was a huge amount of money.
Correct. And the Congress this morning on the floor, the other side of the aisles put their foot in it again. They said they would not pay the military until they get what they wanted. And so I was told there was at least 2 big donors. One of them, I believe, was Elon Musk.
Oh,
And
Oh.
and the second one was Berkshire Hathaway.
Ah. Okay, so he not only got big donors to pay the military, remember he's got big donors to make the ballroom. That's private donors too.
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
So-
and I think this ballroom, and you have to remember, Trump had made this statement, and everybody got pissed off at him. Even I did.
Even you did.
Yeah, because when Trump said we were going to have a very Merry Christmas, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And everybody expected it to be that Christmas, which was last Christmas.
That was actually almost 3 years ago. It was a couple
Okay.
years ago. It was more than just last year, for sure.
Right. And, he never put a date on it. I believe, and I don't think it's going to be this Christmas, but what I do believe is coming down the pike is after the 250th anniversary of the nation being formed, I think a lot, probably, and when I say a lot, I mean 30 to 40% of this is going to be revealed to the American people because they have to do it before the midterms, is my opinion. And I think the Supreme Court is going, because there's a case right now in front of the Supreme Court that's getting zero attention. And it has to do with 2020 again.
Oh, wow.
That the FBI, in that secret room that they said they found, I don't think it was so secret, but they found evidence of what was being done in 2020, and it went directly to the Supreme Court.
Remember when everybody called us conspiracy theorists, grifters, and liars that nothing happened in 2020? Remember that, Jeff?
Right.
Correct.
We were at almost 350 likes on Liberty Warrior Nation 2. We only got about 150 likes to go. So if you guys haven't hit that like button yet, smash that like button. Let's get us over 500 for the algorithm on that. And we also had a couple more coffees. I do not want to leave tonight without saying thank you to people. So let me have just a minute here.
Yeah.
Let me catch up to where I was at. Lori C. Lori C. bought us all 3 coffees and said, "I'm so happy you have your channel back." Thank you for that. I think that's all it says. I can't read it all. And then Vicky also bought us 3 coffees for all 3 of us. God, I gotta
Thank you,
click in
guys.
here. Yes, thank you so much. Anyway, I wanted to say thank you to you guys for doing that. I really appreciate it. And what were you? I'm getting lost here. I'm trying to do too many things all at once. Sorry.
That's okay. So Jeff B, if you were you finished with your thought?
Well, no, there's with the Supreme Court.
Oh, there we go. Supreme Court. Yeah.
The case that's in front of them, it ties into the Brunson case.
There we go. Yeah.
And I think prior to the midterm elections, there's going to be an opinion that's going to be brought down from the Supreme Court to where all of Congress is going to get dissolved.
Really?
And well, think about it.
But how can we operate with no Congress? Can you share that?
We're operating right now with no Congress. The government shut down. Our daily lives are continuing.
Yeah, it's the money. See, that's the thing, Jeff B. That's why I said what, because that would be amazing, because I was saying we really aren't seeing much of a loss by the government not running. However, it's when the military and people, average people like the military and stuff that fight for things, need to be paid. And Trump's finding people, private donors, to pay them. And
Right.
I don't know if he's waiting for the tariff money to come in or what, but it seems like there's a master plan to be able to take care of such things, of police and everybody that we need to pay for the people that need food stamps or EBTs, whatever you call them.
Correct.
So now when you add the next layer here, which you're saying we don't need Congress, go ahead on that. I just
Real
wanted-
quick. LG also bought all 3 of us coffee. Said blessed to have you all back. Camperman. Oh, I love me some Camperman. Good to see you back, brother. Watching but sick in bed. Wife typing this for me. Show is awesome. Coffee for all. Glad you're back. So thank you for that. And then there was one more. Hold on. And this one was kind of a different way. So I don't want to miss it. I'll come back to it. Go ahead, Jeff.
Jeff
I'll come
B,
back
it
to
says, Jeff, don't tease me with the good times, one of the comments. That's hilarious.
Well, and if you think about what Trump is trying to do, and I think it's more of a military operation. Once SCOTUS comes down with the opinion, you can't turn back the Biden presidency if that was a Biden presidency. I'm more inclined to say it was a military operation under the continuity of government. That's why Trump keeps referring to the 46 as the auto pen.
Yeah, okay, that makes
yeah.
sense.
Okay.
Yeah, and the picture.
Correct.
Okay, again, Captain Skeptic here. Lots of stuff that I question, but Jeff, what in the frick was the whole thing where it showed 45 picture of him?
Yep.
And this is in the White House, and he
Yes,
shared
it
this
is.
picture of 45, picture of 46, which is the auto pin, and the picture of
Right.
47, which is him back.
Which is
Correct.
his mugshot. His mugshot.
Yeah, his mugshot.
Correct.
What is that all about? And
So
hold on, just a sec. I gotta pause for just a second. Like my phone is blowing up. My phone will not stop, and I appreciate this, guys. Thank you so much. Linda Ward also bought all 3 of us coffees, and I'm trying to see if there is because it's coming through Stripe. So I'm trying to see if there's actually something that she's trying to say, but I'm not seeing it. But at least your money, and I apologize if I'm missing your comment. I just don't see the comment. Here's another one that says Bobby Tom. Maybe it's Bobby Tom. Bought us all coffees as well. Thank you for that. I hope I said your name wrong. I'm horrible with names. I apologize. And then Honey D. I don't even know who Honey D is. I don't recognize the name, but also bought us coffee.
Thank you, guys.
And
everybody.
I'm trying to see. I'm having a hard time seeing the comments. Honey D bought a coffee. So glad you're all back. I believe is what it says. My app is like blowing up as I'm trying to read this. More stuff is coming in. So I'm trying to read this stuff. So anyway, thank you, Honey D. Appreciate all you guys. We're gonna have a wonderful Christmas. We're going to have a wonderful show, Tammy, where we get to give away so many silver coins because I am going to get a hold of Miles Franklin tomorrow. Or wait a minute, today's Friday. Yeah, I'll reach out to him. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to order as many as that money will buy, and we're going to give out a lot of silver coins. I'm excited for that. Go ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
So, with the auto pen, when that picture
Yeah.
first come out,
Yeah.
and I seen it on news media, the first thing I did is I called the big chair, and I'm like, look here. I said, is this for real or is this fake? And he walked down the presidential wing and flipped his phone over, and I was like, holy shit, it is there.
What
And then-
what is about that? And it's the auto
Well,
pin, so that tells you that.
Yes.
And remember when we were crazy because we
Yes.
were reporting show after show after show that something wasn't normal because remember there was never a photo up there of him.
Correct.
Right.
Remember that, Jeff?
Yeah.
And it
Yes.
was years. We were
Yes.
talking years that we reported on this that there was no photo of him in the White
And
House or
I actually-
any other federal building. There wasn't photos of him.
Well, and look, I had people that I knew were working in D.C. I said, "Hey, please go there and look at this," because I'm being told it's not there, and people are saying we're batshit crazy, and they're like, "Look, dude, this guy's photo is nowhere." He goes, "Go down to your local recruiting station for the military. You won't see it in there either." And I
Whoa.
didn't. So,
Wow.
I believe it's, like with Trump putting up his mugshot. I believe it is to show people when they come into the White House what they tried to do to this country. And at that meeting that Trump had with all these flag officers, he made it a point when he was speaking to these officers. He said, "I am 45, I am
Yeah.
46,
Yeah.
and I am 47." And the look on these officers' faces from the big chair who was there, he said was priceless. They all just like looked at each other like, what the F did we just get ourselves into? So there's so many signs that not only him, but even the news media has given people, that something very, very interesting is going to take place and is taking place. And, the only thing I can tell people, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, whether you like this administration, don't like this administration, it's about the country.
Yeah.
And I was I've said, if Donald Trump is lying to the American people, then bring him up on charges and do what needs to be done.
Yep.
But as time goes on,
Yeah.
all these outlandish statements that he's made has come to fruition. And people are now really sitting back saying, what the hell? Even the biggest, I have, customers that come in that I know are hardcore liberal that would have never talked about, and they're even coming in and saying, okay, what the hell is really going on. And I basically say, look, this is just all my opinion based. It's based on hints and subtleties that, people give me and give me direction to look at.
Right.
I love it. I love it. We got other people who are also wanting to send me silver coins to donate to give away. I know our brother John Estabrooks did that a couple of times. I think Scad Warrior sent me a silver coin once to give away too. I put my parents' address in there. That's where I received mail at this time. So if you wanna send that with a little story and something I can read on air, I would love that. And for those of you who have donated silver coins for us to give away for people, it's just awesome. And John Estabrooks had some amazing silver coins he had collected over the years that we gave away. So there's the address. You can mail it to them. I'm getting ready to have a project up there, so I'm going to be up there a lot. I'll pick it up and we'll put it in with the rest of the coins I'll purchase to give all those away. And I'll make sure that if you can send that to me with a little story, background on it or whatever, I'd love to read that to the audience when we have that show. And you're not going to want to miss that show. And even if you happen to not catch it and I call your name, we'll have an email that you guys can reach out to us. We'll get it out to you. It's just awesome. Like my phone won't stop blowing up. Tonight has been pretty wild on, and I'm blaming this on Corey. If he's still watching, that White Rabbit, he stirred the pot big time. I love it. It was just such a wonderful memory lane, because we've been talking about this stuff for years and been called crazy, tinfoil hats, conspiracy theorists. We've been called grifters over the years, and here we are coming full circle, and I'm enjoying the ride. And I remember how we used to say all the time, like, get your popcorn ready.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
And remember how everybody said, I'm tired of the popcorn and it's stale and blah, 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 blah. I think now's the time to say, get your popcorn ready.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that. Captain Skeptic's going to say, might want to get your popcorn ready, because I'm enjoying the show so far.
Well, I mean, just look at today. Letitia James was brought into federal court to answer for charges that she was formally indicted on and arrested on. And the amazing thing about Letitia James is she's getting charged with what they tried to charge Trump on, and they couldn't prove. So it's more of, this is what I'm doing that's illegal, but I'm going to forecast it onto you.
Right. Yep.
I think she's in hot water.
She's done. And you know what the most sickening thing about it is when I watched her come out, and there was probably a couple dozen people out there, cheering her on. And I think the biggest problem that we are going to have is when these individuals who sadly have been brainwashed, when they find out that they have been brainwashed and they have been duped, they are going to want some skin.
Yeah. Yes. For all these people, and then for believing them and following them. And another big name that this just broke today, or yesterday it might have been, was Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, ordered Nancy Pelosi to preserve her emails after she ordered ICE to be arrested. Did you hear that?
Well, yeah, that goes into what was said today with that mayor of San Francisco. This all ties in together. Now, you remember when they told Hillary Clinton to preserve her emails, and she acted watched them.
It's coming. Jeff, Jeff, we were just on a couple of nights ago, and you said something else.
She would not appear.
No, I'm not talking about Hillary. Remember what you said Trump said about the other guy, the taller guy that was...
Jim Comey.
No, the taller guy that was president before Donald Trump.
Brock. He come out and said it yesterday. He come out and said it on national TV.
What did he say?
Barack Obama, you are probably looking at treason charges.
Boom.
Also, Trump put out, he said this about Barack Obama. He said, ask former President Barack Obama whether or not he really believes that in 2020 Joe Biden got 15 million
Yes.
more votes
Oh,
than
I saw
he
that
did
too.
in 2012.
Oh, he was trolling Obama big time, trolling him.
Yes,
Well-
he was. And he added to that, and he said, ask him why that it is Joe Biden beat Obama in every single swing state with the black
and
vote in
with-
2020.
yes.
Yeah.
Even though the black voters
Boom! Here
hate
comes the
him.
hammer. Here comes
There
the
we
hammer.
go.
She's bringing it. She's bringing it. I am still gonna say the arrest that shocks the world is gonna be Barack Obama. That's still
Yeah,
what I think.
because and I think it's because the Trump arrest didn't have the effect that they think it was going to have. It did a little bit, but here's all I can tell you. Not 100% that it's going to happen, but they are in progress in Chicago. They are tearing down the Barack Obama library that they were just in process of building.
Take it all down. Take it all
Taking
down.
it all down.
Tin Ridge Runner, who has been a longtime listener of us, Tammy and Jeff, want to let you guys know he also bought us all coffees
Thank
and
you.
said, "Glad that you're back, spilling truth." So thank you, Tin Ridge Runner, for the coffees. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, the other name that is being brought up is Adam Schiff. Is he about to be indicted?
Oh, it's coming, Tammy.
Because
He
Trump-
lied. He
Yeah.
he was part of this whole scam. Like,
Yes.
Jeff, do you think retribution? Do you think accountability? Do you think justice that the American people and all of these wonderful, I think we got almost 700 people watching tonight, all these people that we have been waiting and waiting and waiting, and we were told that we wore tinfoil hats, conspiracy theorists, liars, grifters, and all this stuff, are we going to see justice here in America?
Well, I think we are going to have to. Even some of the detractors are now looking at this and saying, "Wait a second." None of this. Even with my mother, she don't follow this like I do, and she said years ago when all this first started. She said, if I didn't know what you did for a living, I'd have you committed. And,
Right?
She might still do that, Jeff. You
well,
don't know.
that's very possible. I may wake up one day in a straitjacket and in a rubber room. But even though, and I get it, she doesn't like how Trump talks. Even she is now seeing that the stuff that they are doing and how they are treating this country, that all of my parents' kids served in the military, that we have all, given, my parents gave the ultimate price with one of my sisters. But, with me coming back hurt and damaged,
Yeah.
even now she's
And thank you for your service, Jeff. We
Yes,
do appreciate
absolutely.
it. We absolutely appreciate your
I
service.
had-
And all veterans out there listening tonight, past, present, and future, thank you for your service.
Yeah,
Greatly appreciate
it was the best 6.5 years, and
I bet.
you meet a lot of interesting people, and during that period, that's how I got to know the Big Chair and all these other guys that they rose higher in the ladder because I chose not to. I didn't want to go that route my whole life because it's very stressful. It takes a very, very, very special person to do that kind of stuff.
I believe that,
and and I just wanted out of it. But the only thing I that I want to make sure people understand over the next few weeks, be very mindful of your surroundings, because I am very, very concerned that something is going to happen internally. And, if this EBT is not funded, I think we're going to see a lot of looting. um, it just take the high road. I know it's going to be stressful on a lot of people, um, but at the end of this, I think we're all going to come out better. I hope we do. I pray we do, because if we don't fix it, and like I said, with this Supreme Court, I believe every congressional member is going to have to go up for reelection, because the opinion that I believe is going to come down is SCOTUS is going to state we don't know who was truly elected or who was installed. So, in order for us to resolve this, we have to disband the legislative branch of government and do everything on paper ballot and with voter ID. That's the only way this can be corrected.
Well, that's breaking it all down, tearing it down to the bare minimum. I mean,
Correct.
paper and pencil is the best way to do it, or paper and pen, whatever. They also, where was it? They said that they're going to send out for these elections that are coming up, that they are going to send, here it is. The Justice Department says it's going to deploy federal election monitors to key counties in California and New Jersey for next month's closely watched elections. Because we just had some here, the early for, council members and whatnot. But I mean, they're actually sending the Justice Department out there. They're going to send people out there.
They're
So
talking about voter ID. Like,
Yes.
there is
Yeah.
a complete change in
Yes.
our voting system coming, I believe.
Well-
Jeff, I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm planning on, again, I don't know what's going to happen between tonight and Monday night, but I am planning on going live Monday night. Can
Sure.
I get a commitment from you to come back on
Sure.
Monday night?
Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
cool. Well, we're going to do a show Monday night, folks, right at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as usual. We'll see what happens between now and then. Tammy and I might come on, but we'll see. Anything else that you guys want to cover before we roll into final thought?
I was going to bring up, I think this is interesting news that the Dow closed above 47,000 for the first time in history. So that is interesting to me because
That's history breaking right there.
Right there.
And remember, Trump was saying something about that earlier this week, that the stock market's stronger than it's ever been. What do you think about that, Jeff?
Well, if you believe in the numbers, I mean, I believe that the stock market is so manipulated.
I do
But
too.
if they were to right now show a significant tank in the stock market, it would already wound this, because whether people want to agree or disagree, the economy is still it's in turmoil.
Yeah, it
Be-
is.
because everybody knows something is wrong, absolutely 100% wrong. And with this government shutdown, oh, it's just showing people, wait, we are spending all this money for this circus that's going on in DC, but we're still able to survive. Not saying that the legislative branch of government's going to collapse by any stretch. That's not going to happen. But you are going to definitely see a restructure, I believe. I mean, it's not
It's gotta
concrete
be.
in fact. Yeah, and Trump has said it numerous times, and people thought he was just, a senile old man when he was saying it.
Thank you, Tin Ridge Runner, for your service to this country and to keep us all safe and free here too. And I know a lot of our viewers are veterans, and thank you guys again all for your service. We
Yeah.
couldn't do what we're doing tonight without your guys' sacrifice. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Oh, and before we go to final thought, Rosie's got a good question here. What about the Super Bowl halftime show? It's going to be chaos. That is
Yeah.
nasty and ugly, and we don't know
Yeah.
what's going to happen.
I seen a lot of Turning Point is going to have a halftime show. I think, if you want to know what I think that everyone is going to be watching the Turning Point halftime show. I think this year the Super Bowl is going to have the lowest ratings of all time. It's going to be historical of people not watching the halftime show. It's just going to be dumb people watching it, and everyone else is going to be watching Turning Point. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I like that Turning Point's doing that, but I still, because we might have to do a show about this, I have concerns about all that. I'm not 100% on board of everything that went on with that and is going on with Turning Point USA.
That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to ask Jeff. All right, we're not going anywhere yet because I got to ask Jeff. Got to ask Jeff this question, and you, Tammy. What do you guys think about what Candace Owens has been putting out? I don't want to go too deep because, like I said, Tammy wants to do a show. You want to save it for later?
Yeah, well, I'll comment on it because I'd like to know what Jeff thinks as well. Candace and Tucker both have been coming at it hard. There were anomalies that were going on, but this is the thing. When I say use discernment, you have to use that because, yes, is there a lot of good that has come out of the unfortunate thing that happened to him? Absolutely. Do I like that Turning Point is doing a counter to the halftime show with football? Yeah, the Super Bowl? Yes. But I'm still hesitant because Candace and Tucker are very reliable, stable people that we have looked to for answers and for consideration on things we were questioning. They both have given up a lot in their lives to do what they're doing now. But I'm not happy with what Candace and or Tucker are saying about all of it. It's very sad, confusing, and some people, like I said to Jeff earlier, people are bought and sold or paid opposition. I don't think they are, but they're given the dirty details to things that we're supposed to zip it about and not talk about.
Gotcha.
So,
real quick, we're at 375 likes on Liberty Warrior Nation 2. We got 125 to go. If you guys can smash that like button before we get out of here. Thanks for supporting us. Thanks for all of the coffees and donations tonight. We're going to have a good time giving away silver coins. Jeff, what are your thoughts on the Super Bowl? And then, Tammy, I agree. It's a whole nother show, and we'll put one together for that.
Yeah, I think in my lifetime I may have watched maybe one or two Super Bowls. I'm not very much into sports, but I have in the past have watched some of when the halftime shows were good, when they were
there used to be some good ones. Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of this now has been used for indoctrination and to get people on a certain mindset. But I think that's probably going to come to an end. As for the whole Turning Point thing, I have probably some very minority opinions on.
Let's save it for another show, Jeff.
Yeah, on this stuff that, it would take up way too much time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, okay, this is what I want to say, and then we're going to roll into final thought, and I'll let Jeff go first for final thought in case he needs to scoot. I'm happy that there's an alternative. Because some of the stuff that I've seen in the last couple of years is totally satanic. Right there on my TV screen, I had to turn it off. It's gotten completely out of control. So I'm grateful that there's hopefully a better alternative, and that's really all I'm going to say about it. Because that, like I said, what Tammy and Jeff are talking about is a whole nother show that we could go on for hours about that as well. And we're rolling up here we're already past 2.5 hours, so it's been a wonderful evening tonight. Mm-hmm. I'm going to allow Jeff to go ahead first with final thought. Before you scoot out of here, if you guys are going to jet, please hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We'll be back at least Monday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Jeff, and who knows, we might have another one between now and then. So go ahead, Jeff.
So my final thought is going to encompass Nancy Pelosi. And I want people to think about Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro. When they were subpoenaed to appear in front of Congress and they didn't, they were arrested. Or I'm sorry, not Nancy, Hillary. Hillary was subpoenaed and was supposed to appear on the 9th. and her attorney said that they were quote unquote working out the details with Congress. There is no working out details with Congress. Why? Whether you dislike this administration or like this administration, why is Hillary given a pass? Why hasn't she put in handcuffs? Or is it to be shown later on that there is a two-sided system and that Hillary was dealt with a long time ago?
Well, I want to say something to Tammy before she gives her final thought. Dan Scavino, something we need to talk about. Go ahead, Tammy.
Dan Scavino, I need to meet him and shake his hand someday. I love.
There's
me
a
some
lot to
Dan
unpack with
Scavino.
Dan Scavino, and I want to drop that for Jeff so that when we come on Monday night, Jeff can do a little bit of digging on the whole Scavino thing, because I think there's a lot to unpack there.
Wait,
Well,
I just before you go, Tammy. Why was Dan Scavino put in charge of the U.S. Marshal Service?
I don't know, but my
We're gonna
hands are
talk. We're gonna
sweating.
talk about that Monday
Ooh.
night. We're gonna
Well-
talk about that Monday night.
Yay.
I will have to ask the big chair.
Oh yeah. Tell the big chair to tell Dan. You can look back on the first LW shows. I've always been an advocate for him because that man has stood by Trump's side. He's been loyal, and he can put one heck of a. He does social media like nobody's business. I love it.
Yep.
And so I think that would be amazing. And I like, you made me sweat. Just like being like 2 steps away from Dan Scavino is amazing to me. Like I don't
Well,
lose my
we're
mind.
gonna cover Scavino and the Marshals on Monday night, so don't miss
Okay.
it. Make sure you guys subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss us Friday night. But we're gonna be right back here on all 4 of these channels. We're on Facebook. We're on 2 YouTube channels right now. We're on the X and we're on Rumble. But so we'll be back at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss it, Jeff B. And did you see Bright Horizon? They still have our badge from years ago on their fridge, and I thought that was awesome. And I still have, Tammy. It's crazy. I'll bring that up next time. But
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. So what's your final thought there, Tammy?
My final thought is what comes around goes around. Past proves present or future, whatever that saying is, because all 3 of us and all the people in chat, here we are all these years later, and it is just so refreshing and it feels so good. And you know what? We weren't wrong. We may have thought we were wrong, but when you have the actual people involved coming out saying and showing the things they are, we may have been a little bit murky in the plan of things going on, but the reality is something that's definitely going on. And you know what? It's either going to be really good and everything's going to come out really good, or it's going to be really bad and we've been buffooned and fooled by everybody. And I have faith that good's going to win over evil. And that's my final thought. Just keep your eyes open, keep digging, keep looking, keep listening, and pay attention not to what you want to hear, but to what really is going on. Because we have a tendency just to nitpick and pull out the things we want to hear and not listening to the other side. But I think that other side of people, whether it's Republicans or Democrats, have really just cut themselves off at the ankles, and I don't see how they're going to come back from any of it, because you know they're still fighting for and got the government shut down for other people other than the United States citizens. And you cannot, I don't care who you are, you cannot be for that. Why are you living here then? Why are they even being in office then? Why do they hate America so much when America is the place that they are employed? I don't get it.
All right, that was a mouthful.
Sorry.
I don't even think I can follow her, so I'm gonna leave with this. I'm gonna put something on screen for you guys because I love you and I cannot wait to give back for all of you wonderful people that helped give tonight. So here's my share screen. That's what I have to share for tonight, and
Yep. That's
Love
true,
y'all.
guys. That's so
love
cool.
y'all.
Cool.
Let me see if there's a way that I can push play on that, because Tammy put some music with that too when she created that. Anyway,
Hit
that's
the
what
play
it's all
play
about.
button.
We've come full circle.
See the big
And
arrow there?
we've come. What's that?
See the big arrow there? It says play, like the circle, the arrow to
I
the
do,
right.
but I can't
Okay.
find it on my. I can't find it on my stinking screen anymore.
Well,
It's
dang
gone. It's
nabbit.
gone.
Okay,
It's somewhere.
It's okay.
So anyway, that's what I wanted to leave with tonight. Love you all. God bless you, Tammy. We're gonna sign off. Thank you, Jeff B, for being here tonight, and we're definitely gonna be back Monday night. But stay tuned. We may be back before then. God bless. Catch
Bye.
you on the next one.